Hello, 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 my friends. This is Dr. David checking in. And I just wanted to say hello to everyone. Welcome to my first webinar in a while, Hidden Laws of Attraction, how to manifest anything you want faster than you ever thought possible. Today, we're going to be covering some of the most powerful and in many cases, simple ways to manifest things that I've ever found in my life. And I've spent a lot of time looking. Before we get into the content of tonight's webinar, I do have a few administrative details that I'd like to go over with you. Let me just go ahead and bring up my chats here. So for those of you who are joining us first time tonight, we got quite a few people in the chat already and it's picking up speed. So if this is your first time, please type in the chat, first time, your name and where you're checking in from, okay? And then what I'd like you to do is type in what you'd like to be able to do. Now, obviously, you're here to learn about manifesting. I get that. But what is it you want to manifest? What area of your life would you like to improve? And if you could get that and you could do that, what then? Right? What's your next step? What are you gonna do with this information? Right? As you're doing that, if you are a veteran of Planet David, if you've been here, longer than 3 months, if you've been to live trainings, if you're one of our megas or our platinums or our Mondo members, please type in your chat how long, where you're checking in from and how long you've been in Planet David. Because you guys, you veterans out there, you're going to be my assistants for the next two to 3 hours. And yes, I did say 2 to 3 hours. My webinars are never short. And so one of the things that something just happened with my live stream to YouTube. By the way, say hello to all of our YouTube folks out there. We are simulcasting. We are talking to our brothers and sisters here on Jet Webinar, but we're also live casting to our subscriber audience out in YouTube land. So those of you on the YouTube channel, I will see about restoring the feed just as soon as I can. I know you guys are freaking out. Don't, as they say in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, don't panic. It will be up soon. In the meantime, let me see what's going on here with our live stream. It says it's preparing. Okay, according to them, I'm back, so I can keep talking. Okay, so before we jump into tonight's content, let me just go through some administrative stuff. First of all, if this is your first time with us, it's really important when we do these webinars together that we treat them for what they are. They're classes. They're designed to give you a very discrete, very concentrated skill set, something that you can take out into the world and put to work right away. Okay, and I want you guys to really kind of wrap your heads around that. This is a participation dependent workshop. Okay, I do apologize in advance because I have multiple chats going and I need to make sure that everybody's taken care of. But I want you to understand, you don't have to believe a single thing that we're going to be working on together or playing with today. All you've got to do is actually just do it. And so my job here is to find out what you want and customize that content, customize that material so that you're getting exactly that. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me up to speed on that? If you're okay with that, and that sounds like a plan, let me go to my chats here. There we go. Where's my chat? I see participants, but I don't see my chat. Oh, there we go. There's chat. There's Ritu and a bunch of, okay. So type in the, see if there's any questions in the chat really quick. I want to invest a home that is not an apartment. I get that. Okay, so let's start again. So first of all, if you have not already gotten something to write on and write with, please do so. Okay, there's going to be a bunch of drills that we're going to go through. Type in the chat what it is, where you're checking in from, because I don't see a lot of people in the chat. And that could be on our end, or it could be, if you're just going to sit here and watch the show, you're not going to get nearly as much out of this as if you actually do the drills and get the skills. Okay. That being said, when we talk about law of attraction, most of us have bought into the story of The Secret, for example. The Secret tells us that we will pull into our lives the experiences, people, situations, circumstances, and events that are in harmony with our dominant thoughts. That's true enough to be true, but if it were that simple, we'd all get everything we wanted. True, not true? Type it in the chat if you've ever had the law of attraction not work, right? Okay, Jack says true. I'm in Mount Prospect, where friendliness is the way of life, supposedly. Okay, oh, okay, the people are starting to check in. Edie says true. Not hearing any sound from Jet Webinar. Let me check my, well, no, apparently other people are hearing me, so it must be on your end, dude. Yeah, we're good. Okay. True 70% of the time. So there's got to be something else going on, right? There's got to be something else behind why the law of attraction isn't working 100% of the time for us. Turns out there's more than one thing. There's a bunch of stuff, because when the people who wanted to teach us about manifestation and teach us about, for all intents and purposes, modern day magical practices, they left a bunch of stuff out. Today, we're going to cover a bunch of the stuff that they left out. We're going to help you kind of troubleshoot why your law of attraction techniques may not be working. We're going to help you to remove certain blocks that might be in your way. We're going to show you some of the most powerful, easy to use subconscious reprogramming methodologies available for you to fast track your manifestation abilities. Now, to do that, we've got to cover some basics. We got to cover some foundations. So if you can answer yes to any of the following questions, hold on a second. Where's my note? There we go. So by a show of hands in the chat, how many of here would like to use their manifestation skills to become more attractive to the opposite sex? Maybe attract their soulmate, or become more irresistible and charismatic in some situation or circumstance. If that's you, type me in the chat. How many of you would like to stop being afraid? How would you like to move through the world emanating a confidence and a charisma that is the envy of everyone you know and everyone you meet? If this is for you, type that's for me in the chat. How many of you would like to manifest more money, prosperity, in whatever context that means to you? In other words, maybe for you, prosperity isn't just a lot of money, it's the time and the freedom to go and use it, or the health that allows you to make the most of it, right? What does prosperity mean to you? And if you could get that, would that be something, if that's something you want, you're on the fast track tonight to getting it, okay? If you'd like to have people thinking and feeling the way you want them to think and feel, if you'd like them to kind of see your point of view, this is a really good place for you to be tonight, because the principles and the methodologies that I'm going to share with you tonight are some of the most fundamental and pervasive principles for influencing humans and the universe itself to do whatever you want, okay? How many of you would like to be able to protect yourself from the manipulators and the predators of the world, psychic and energy vampires? Would that be something that you might be interested in? If so, type that's for me in the chat, because that is exactly what part of what you'll be learning tonight. Again, one of the things that we need to understand about manifestation, and again, this might raise a few hackles from the more orthodox, conservative people in our community. You need to understand that when we're talking about manifestation, at its core, what we're talking about, a concept that has been known for centuries as the word is magic, or sorcery, or whatever word you want to use to abracadabra. But we're not talking about stage illusions. We're talking about understanding the fundamental building blocks of causality in the universe, and how your own personal nervous system is designed by the big G upstairs to interface with that mechanism, that device. Your nervous system, we call it holographic memory theory, is designed to interface with the quantum. It's designed to be able to impregnate the universe and pull things into manifestation. But to tap into the full power of that system, we need to back up, and we need to start at what some of you may consider basic or fundamentals, but then we're going to really move quickly through it. So how many of you would like to have a better job, or have the money to start your own business, or attract new friends, right? If you answered yes to any of the things I talked about, you're in the right place. Okay, we're gonna cover the building blocks to doing all that and a whole lot more. Okay, so like I said before, I am when I teach a class, and I mean this sincerely. When I teach a class, I am very much a teacher who thrives on interactiveness with the students. Okay, the more feedback you give me, the more you answer me in the chat, you give me the information I'm looking for, the more I can customize the content of tonight's webinar to you. Okay, if that makes sense, type it in the chat. Brad says he just wants to help others and protect himself. Okay, Sandeep says makes sense. Tammy says yes. Edie says yes. Perfect. Thank you guys for being more responsive. I really appreciate that. All right, so let's get down to basics. Like, okay, so who the hell is Dr. David Snyder and why should I care? First of all, I actually am a doctor of Chinese medicine. Let me show you my screen really quick. This is actually my doctorate from Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. I've had a practice in Solana Beach, California, where I've been teaching, teaching law of attraction stuff as part of my mastermind programs, but also to my students and to my patients. I've had a practice there for well over 15 years, where my specialty has been treating physiological illness that is caused by repressed emotions. So while a lot of doctors and physicians and chiropractors and acupuncturists, they deal with a lot of physical stuff, I do too, but I come at it from a very different place. I come at it from the point of these people actually manifested the illness. It's caused by repressed emotion. And that's one of the big things that I want us to really drill down on tonight, is this understanding that you guys are all actually really good at manifesting. The problem is that you're really good at manifesting. You just don't know all the dynamics that are causing you to manifest crap. So one of the things I tell a lot of people is that human beings tend to go through the world with the equivalent of a jet engine and an anchor strapped to their back. And it's the difference between the thrust from the engine and the drag from the anchor that determines how far they get, how fast. Now, why do I bring this up? Two reasons. A, if most people are moving through the world trying to put more thrust in the engine. They're trying to get more horsepower, more juice, more push, right? And on the surface, that seems like a good idea. But inevitably, what happens is the harder that engine pushes, the more drag that anchor creates. But if all we did was go in and chop the chain, drop the anchors, we take off like a rocket. And that's part of what tonight's webinar is about. The other reason I'm bringing this up is because one of the most emotionally triggering classes I ever took was a class on manifestation. It was when I was learning DNA theta. I'll give you my energy credentials here in a minute, but when I was learning DNA theta healing and advanced theta healing and advanced DNA theta healing manifestation techniques, I walked into this class on manifestation, and for the next 3.5 hours, all I did was bawl my eyes out. Stuff was coming out of nowhere. I had no idea what the hell was happening until I purged all those blocks, and all of a sudden things started to pop for me. Okay, so one of the big challenges that we have when we start to apply vibrational or energetic techniques is the higher the vibration we seek to channel, the more it tends to cause a chain reaction in our bodies where we start to purge stuff. And if nobody stands up before you begin these practices and tells you feeling like a walking apology is actually normal, you're going to quit. You're going to think you're doing something wrong. You're going to think, wait a minute, this isn't how it's supposed to be. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people who are selling meditation programs and law of attraction things, if they know this, they're not going to tell you that, because if they told you, you might actually have to shuffle some actual deep level stuff to become the powerful manifester you're capable of being, that you were designed by source to be, you would probably quit and look for something else. Okay, but I'm going to be upfront with you. These techniques work and they're powerful, and if you apply them, you will be astonished. However, there's an evolution process that you will start to trigger. Now, most of the people who've been around Planet David for a while, they get that, right? But if, as you're going through these techniques, emotions start to come up, remember something. That's supposed to happen, which brings us to a couple of things. First and foremost, how many of you have ever noticed that the law of attraction, the way most people teach it, they'll say to you, you'll bring into your life the vibrations that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. If you've heard that said, type that in the chat. Okay. Here's problem number one. People don't know what their dominant thoughts really are. Let me say that again. People do not know what their dominant thoughts truly are. I'm going to give you some basic principles that you're probably going to need to write these down, because I'm actually skipping ahead into the webinar. Usually I go through my whole pedigree and I talk about my background. Like I have a 10th degree black belt in the martial arts. I'm working on a doctorate in medical Qigong. I have a doctorate in Chinese medicine. I'm one of the world's leading authorities on neurolinguistic programming. For the last 5, 6, 7 years, I've been voted the number 1 or 2 trainers in the world in NLP. I've authored over 15 different products on various forms of human influence. A lot of this has been because of my ability to manifest. Now, I could tell you story after story after story, and all that would do would entertain you and inspire you maybe, but it wouldn't give you the ability to actually do some of this stuff. So I'm just going to jump in for the next 45 minutes or so. I'm going to give you as much foundational material as I can. I'm going to put you through as many drills as I can. At about the 45-minute mark, I'm going to launch into phase 2 of our webinar. Phase 2 of our webinar is very simple. I'm going to show you how to take all the things you're learning in tonight's webinar and step it up to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th levels. How to become a master manifester. If you think I'm a master of manifesting and you want to do what I do, I'll show you how to do what I do. If you want to become better than me, I'll show you how to do that too, because I have the techniques and trainings that I'm working on that are the next levels for me. So I will promise you, I will teach you as much as I can in the time that we have. I will point you in the direction of where to go for more. And then I'm going to circle back to the content, the grounds we're laying right now. And I'm going to continue to teach. Is that fair? To take you as far as I can, show you where to go for more, and then continue to teach. Yes or yes? Type, as T. Harv Eker would say, is that a yes or yes? Perfect. Okay, great. So once again, you're going to want to stay till the very end of the webinar. And one of the reasons for that is that, I want to teach you the 2 most important factors for manifesting anything you want. And I need to explain that a little bit. I'm going to show you what I call the laws of mental dynamics and universal laws, the ones they didn't tell you about. I want to teach you about a phenomenon we developed in Planet David called body-centered energy psychology. This is how your holographic nervous system actually works. And if you start playing with the drills we're going to do in this webinar tonight, you're going to see profound changes. You're going to start clearing shit at quantum speed. And as you clear that stuff out, your manifestation abilities are going to double, triple, and quadruple. And they're just going to keep getting stronger. Okay. Again, remember, nothing is free. As my teacher, one of my teachers, Jerry Allen Johnson, likes to say, you have all of these latent abilities inside of you. Okay. They're there. They're your birthright. God, the universe, gave them to you because you're a soul, because you have a soul. But they're covered up, they're blocked by stuff that you've accumulated when you incarnated. The biggest piece of tapping into your natural God-given ability to manifest is clearing that shit off and then communicating to the part of you that runs that nervous system in a way it understands. Are you with me so far? If this is making sense, type that makes sense in the chat. Cool. All right. All right, so let's start with, let's do a drill first, okay? So this first drill that I'd like us to do is a vibrational drill. It's a state control drill. When I started looking at all the things that I'm trained in, from neurolinguistic programming to all the different martial arts systems that I've studied, and I have a 10th degree black belt in the martial arts, and I have a bunch of other high-ranking black belts as well. All of these deal with energy or the mind in some way, in addition to being self-defense systems. All right, I've studied many, many different forms of Qigong. Like I said, I'm working on a doctorate in medical Qigong. I'm also trained in Taoist mysticism, Buddhist mysticism, Christian mysticism, and Kabbalah. So I've been a Kabbalist since before Madonna ever heard of Kabbalah. So I'm very much a prima donna. I'll let you figure that one out. So one of the things that we talk about in the law of attraction trainings that most of us has been through is this whole concept of vibration or energy. True or not true? True or not true? All right. Now here's the problem. A, we tend to, I thought a cabal was a gaggle of witches. Very funny, Brad. Now, Kabbalah, actually, it's a Hebrew mystical tradition. But anyway, the problem when we talk about things like energy and vibration is that you go to 5 different energy practitioners, you ask them what their definition of energy is, you'll get 5 different definitions. So a lot of times I'm very critical of a lot of energy healing systems or practitioners because they get very vague and very fuzzy when we start talking about energy. Even more so, well, vibration's a little bit more sciencey, so I prefer that word to use, and that's the problem. How many of you here know what affirmations are? Type in, okay. Now, this is the first test of the night, because I know some of you are going to be honest with me, and some of you are just going to lie, and it's okay. How many of you don't start doing affirmations until you're in a shitty mood and you want to get out of it? Type that, if that's you, type it in the chat. Okay, very good. Sandy says, yep. Now, do you ever think about that? Think about that from a law of attraction standpoint for a minute. Why? If we understand the law of vibration, all right, higher vibrations are supposed to control lower vibrations. True or not true? True or not true? Okay. So if that's true, and I think everybody here agrees that it is, why do we wait till we're in a shitty mood to manifest things or attempt to manifest things? It's because of this, we don't want to be in the state. So it's not the manifestation part we want, it's the state change. Does that make sense? But from a purely mechanical perspective, if the vibration you need to manifest something is up here, and your default level is here, and you wait till you're here, 80 to 90% of your work is just to get your state back to its baseline. So here's what we need to do to fix this. We need to exercise what in Planet David we call vibrational state control. Now, all science aside, this is functional, practical, vibrational law of attraction training now. The feelings in your body, the sum total of all the feelings in your body are equal to the vibrational message or signal you're sending out to the world. You're like, if you think of yourself as the world's largest organic antenna, and you're beaming out pulses into the universe that the universe is going to send back, right? The sum total of all the body feelings that you have is that signal or that message. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me check on my YouTubers. Are you there? Okay, it looks like we lost our YouTubers. Let me close this out. All right, so I'm just gonna, give me 1 second here because I don't want to lose anybody, but at the same time, I want to keep this webinar going. Maybe my YouTubers weren't meant to get this. What do you think? Weird things happen. All right, so here's the first rule. Know your outcome, know what you want, control your state. Affirmations in themselves you find lame even if the message is on target. Paul, you are 1000% right. The way we're taught to do affirmations is lame, to use Paul's words. The part they left out about when to do affirmations and when not to do affirmations makes them even lamer. But what if there were a few simple tricks a few simple games that we could play that would tap into the full power of not only the affirmation itself, but the full power of your nervous system, and cause it to generate a body feeling that is so powerful and so strong that if your baseline is here and you started here, within 3 to 5 repetitions, you were here. And then you just kept getting higher and higher and higher. Would that be useful? Okay. So let's review some basics, okay? Because I'm not using the PowerPoint a whole lot. I will when we get to certain things, but I think it's more important that we work together. John, would the nervous system be okay with the changes in fight back? That is a great question, and the answer is maybe. And here's why. The technology I'm about to give you, about to share with you, it's a microcosm of what we'll be doing at our live event in August, but it's enough for you to get started. Is about what we call it vibrational state control. State control can be summed as, our definition of state control is the ability to enter or exit any psycho-emotional energetic state at will, on demand, under any situation or circumstance. Most people are moving through the world at the mercy of their environment and their dominant thoughts. And the problem is they don't know what their dominant thoughts actually are. Your dominant thoughts are not the ones that you're aware of. And I bring that up again because in reference to John's question, when we start doing this process, you're going to notice something. You're going to notice different body feelings happening at this. You may, not always, you may notice different body feelings happening at the same time. And that is how you zero in on your dominant thoughts and versus your non-dominant thoughts. But I'll give you this right up front for nothing. Your dominant thoughts are not the ones you're consciously aware of. Your dominant thoughts are the secret memories, feelings, thoughts, and beliefs that are on autopilot below the threshold of conscious awareness. So if you're like, let's say back when you were a kid, right, and you were first learning to drive, and you drove through an intersection, and maybe you blew through a stop sign by accident, and all of a sudden, boom, you got T-boned. There was a big hullabaloo, and from that point, anytime you went through an intersection, maybe you didn't panic, but you remembered that moment. Or at certain intersections with certain colors or certain sounds or whatever, you had a little flash of that memory. Did anybody ever have an experience like that where something happened, and even though it didn't cause you to out and out panic, when you found yourself in a similar situation or circumstance, it flashed up into your head? Type it in the chat if that's ever happened for you. Okay. Welcome to your dominant thoughts. You see, anytime we undergo a traumatic experience, whether we think of it as a big capital T trauma or the accumulation of a bunch of little ones, our unconscious mind records it and puts it on an endless loop. And they keep, yes, riding with moss. Oh, Heather, that's cold. Anyway, and so it's on an endless loop. Where does that put prejudice, conscious or unconscious? Some of them, Brad, are inherited. Others, most are learned. So they all start off either unconscious, or they begin as conscious and become unconscious. Anything you've learned is something that started, for the most part, unconsciously or consciously, and then became unconscious, okay, from repetition. Okay, it's easiest to be programmed when you're 0 to 5 years old because you have no critical faculty. The gateway to your subconscious mind is wide open, and whatever you experience goes right in unchallenged, right? We call this particular phenomenon. And what happens is your nervous system tends to sort for what's familiar. If it's given the choice between something new and exciting, but never done before, and something that it's done a gazillion times and isn't always fun, but it's familiar, your neurology will sort for the familiarity. We call it transformational inertia. Whatever was there the longest and the strongest tends to get more gravity to it, and it fights the hardest to be changed unless you know how to get back to before that event was actually encoded and you change it before it could happen. Wait, we have to do time travel to this? Yes. Can the mind do that? Right. So you guys ready to play a little bit? Yes or yes? Okay. So first and foremost, how many of you would like to be up to 31% better at everything? Raise your hands. Type it in chat. Raise your hand. Okay. Here's all you need to do. Be playful. Have as much fun as humanly possible. Okay. FBI behavioral analysis have discovered, you can reference Chris Voss on this, that when an FBI hostage negotiator approaches an interaction in an easygoing, playful, explorational, curious state, they're up to 31% more perceptive, 31% more adaptable, 31% more likely to get their outcome, and their counterpart, the hostage taker, is up to 31% more compliant. What would your life be like if a third more people, 33% more of the people in your life said yes to you? If 33% more of the opportunities you were presented with came your way, right? That's all you got. Believe it or not, that's all you got to do. The problem is we live in a society that teaches us we have to take everything seriously, that we have to be focused. Focus is important, but we can be playful and focused at the same time. Ask anybody who plays a fucking video game, right? So focus has nothing to do with seriousness. Seriousness is what shuts people down. Tension is what shuts people down. So think about this. We're talking about vibrations now. Which is a higher vibration? Joy or sadness? Just type it in the chat. What's a higher vibration? Playfulness or seriousness? What's a higher vibration? Rage or exaltation? You don't have to spell exaltation right. It's okay, right? Courtney's like, yeah, X, yeah. So why do we try to manifest shit? Shit being a technical term, specialized hypnotic influence techniques. When we're negative, it's because of the way we're trained. I think it was Craig or Paul was asking earlier about things being learned. We're taught to be serious when we don't need to be. We train it out of our children, right? So we need to get that back. We need to recapture the fun, the playfulness, the joy, the gratitude, especially gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most healing and powerful manifestation tools or energies that we have. I want you to start thinking of your nervous system going forward now like a set of tools. It's a device that you use to create what you want in this universe. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start playing with controlling our state. Then we're going to show you how to tap into the power of your emotional body to amplify the state even more. And then I'm going to teach you a process for doing affirmations that will dramatically magnify your ability to pull things into your life. Does that sound like a plan? Okay, perfect. That should bring us up to about the top of the hour, at which point I'll show you how to take what we're training with you here and level it up. So first and foremost, if you are driving, don't do this. If you do want to do this exercise, Mark says, hi, David, I've never seen you looking better, either physically or energetic. Well, thank you so much for that. I work hard to keep my girlish figure, right? I have to say that I have to be non-inclusive because I'm in California. It's one of those things. Okay, so first and foremost, I want everybody to stand up. There's two ways you control your state, and most of us are taught in reverse. So we all know that we can use our mind to control our bodies, and that's true enough to be true, except it's not, functionally speaking, because unless you're an elite athlete, special forces soldier, a Buddhist monk, Shaolin warrior, or something in that ilk, you're at the mercy of your physiology. Your psychology is at the mercy of your physiology. So if that's the truth, then let's play with that first. Let me show you a bulletproof way to control your state every single time. Would that be useful? All right. So I need you guys to stand up. I'm going to expand my screen just a little bit here so I can see what's going on. And what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to remember a time in your life when you saw something you really, really wanted. I mean, on a scale of 0 to 10, it had like a lust factor of 27. Right? I want you to close your eyes and I'm going to add a couple parameters to this. Not only did you see something you wanted, you made a decision in that moment that you were going to get it no matter what. And you made a plan and you put that plan into operation and you worked that plan and boom, you nailed it. Home run. I want you to remember that moment of victory. I want you to remember that moment when you realized you're about to get every single thing you want. What were you seeing in that moment? What were you hearing? What were you smelling? What were you tasting? Because when you do that, when you see what you see and you hear what you hear and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there is an amazing, wonderful feeling that you get, a feeling of absolute victory. And I'd like you to notice that there's a place in your body where those amazing feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment and point to where you feel it. Now look at it with your inner eyes. Notice there's a color connected to that feeling. Notice what that color is, because we're going to do something with that in a minute. First impression. Now, as you remember what you were seeing, remember what you were hearing, remember what you were smelling, remember what you were tasting. I want you to remember something else. I want you to remember how you were standing in that moment. And I want you to stand that way. I want you to remember how you were breathing in that moment. And I want you to breathe that way. And let all of those feelings come flooding back into your mind and body. And now take that color. That's the color of those feelings. Imagine a brilliant ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of victory, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all defeats, all losses, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs in an infinite, ever-expanding, and unlimited supply. And when you know you've got that, I want you to breathe those colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. And when you realize it's true, test it. Try to turn it off, try to take it away. Notice what happens instead. When you've got that, breathe that color through your body once again. I know I'm going a little fast, and it's okay. And now, here's what I want you to do. Without changing a single thing about the way you're breathing, without changing a single thing about the way you're standing, summon up your willpower. And once again, without changing anything about your breath, without changing anything about your posture, as an act of will, try to feel bad and notice what happens instead. When you're done trying, stop, let all those feelings double, the good feelings, and then tell me what you experienced. Type in the chat what you experienced when you tried to feel bad and kept your posture the same. Make sure you follow the instructions. Take all the time you need to. Just do that now when you're ready. I'll wait. You felt Sandeep Sells resistance to feeling bad, Sandeep? Was that what happened? Yes. Interesting, right? Was not able, Ritu says not able to feel bad. Well, how about that? The joyfulness remain, resistance, perfect. This is what we need to understand about the ability, your vibrations. Corinne says my chest hurt. Okay, there's probably an energy block there we'll have to deal with, but I'll show you how to do that. Here's the secret. If you're going to do any form of manifestation, do this first. You understand? Whatever state you're in, the bad could not come through. Exactly. Your physiology, what you do with your posture and your breathing, is more powerful than your will. Think about what I asked you to do. I had you hold your posture, I had you hold your breathing, then I had you summon up your willpower, and as an act of will, try to feel badly, and your body wouldn't let you do it because you held the posture. This is such a profound and powerful key, how to access the true power of your mind and body together. And that's the challenge, is we live in a separatist society. We separate the mind from the body from the energy, and we treat them like independent departments, so to speak, but they're not. We have to put all of the system back together the way it was intended to work. And when that happens, magic happens. Paul says, I can't stand up with a big time pain, have her watch. Okay, you can do this sitting down. You can do it sitting down. Just remember what it felt like and approximate it without standing up. So from the waist up or whatever's comfortable, just assume a victory pose, right? Now you can look at the research on this, goes back to Amy Cuddy. Actually, we were doing it long before Amy came out with the research, but she did all the science. So if you go and watch her TED Talk on power poses, you'll actually get a glimpse at the science behind what you just did. We're taking it way further. We have been for a long time. But if you're a science buff and you want to see the double-blind studies and all that, go check that out. So before you do any kind of manifestation work, you got to know what you want. What does that mean? You got to know what you want and how you know you're getting it. How will you recognize if you're moving towards what you're asking for or what you don't? Okay, so that's a big piece right there. We'll cover that in our training in August, because there's little nuances to it that make it a little bit more foolproof. But knowing what you want and having a way to measure it, that's all you need to know for tonight. What do you want? Now focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. We'll talk about the dynamics of that a little bit later. But let's say we want to start to begin to build on this, right? Do you think coming from a feeling, starting any activity with a feeling of being a winner and having gotten what you want is a better place to start than I feel like shit, I feel like a loser, let me just write sentences until I feel better? What do you think? Right. The problem is, and this is the challenge you're going to face. Negative states have a gravity to them. That's why we become so motivated to do anything to change it. So there's a book I want you to get. It's called The Power of Bad by Roy Baumeister. Okay. You have a negativity bias in your system of a 4-to-1 ratio. So if you have one good thing happen, your nervous system assigns a charge of 1 to that. But if one bad thing happens, your nervous system assigns a charge of 4 to that. Does that make sense? It's a screwed up ratio, but at least it's something we can work with. That means that you have to do 4 times the work when something bad happens just to get back to where you started from. You're beginning to understand why maybe classical affirmations, the way we're taught, don't work. A, you don't know what your dominant thoughts are. B, you got to do at least 4 times the affirmations just to get back to even. B, a lot of times the affirmations that we create are in conflict with dominant thoughts that are locked below the threshold of conscious awareness. We're going to get to that either right before the part 2 or right after, because we want to show you how to find those and eliminate them. Is this helpful? This whole playfulness and victorious drill, was this helpful? Okay, here's the secret to this. If you play this game and other games that I'll show you in part 3 of the webinar like this, your system will start to evolve. Your neurology will start to cleanse and purge itself, and it will start to open up new faculties, new brain regions will open up and become more alive, more active, and more powerful in your life, and you'll be able to do more stuff. Okay, but there's a price. You're gonna go through. You're gonna have to clear some stuff, right? And part of my job as in Planet David and my platinums and my veterans will tell you, we have whole trainings devoted to how to clear your shit and get out of your own way. Okay, we're going to show you some of that stuff tonight. But I wanted to give you this whole state control piece first, because once you understand that you're never helpless, you're not at the mercy of your emotions. If you just understand that you can change any emotional state you're in by just thinking of a time when you felt a certain way that you'd like to feel instead, and stand that way, you will, within 2 minutes, by holding that pose, within 2 minutes, you will reliably go into that state. And all you have to do to stay there is hold the pose. Right? And I have people who work in critical care facilities. I have people who deal in hospice. I have people who are emergency room physicians, and they swear by, I have personal injury attorneys who deal with hostile judges and juries. I have people at the Pentagon who do this stuff. I have people in the Defense Department. I mean, I've worked with a lot of different areas where this is important. And this is what they come back to again and again and again. Okay. So this is where I want you to start. Wasn't strike a pose, Madonna? Yes, it was, but I'm a prima donna, so I get dibs. All right, here's the next piece. What would your life be like if you had the magical ability to reach into somebody's heart and mind, find out what they most truly and deeply wanted, and were able to link it, to connect it, to bond it to what you want in such a way that they feel absolutely compelled to do what you want them to do? What could you do with a superpower like that? Type it in the chat. What could you do? Lots, right? So happy. Okay. What you're about to learn in Planet David. Oh, don't tempt me. Oh, that's my job, Kareem. That's what I do. Don't want to put it in writing. That's fine, Tony. I'm not a persuasion or manifestation policeman, but remember, I have met Karma, dated her sister. Karma's a bitch, so be careful, right? But here's the best part. If you understand the principles that I'm sharing with you and you actually apply them, you can move through the world manifesting everything you want, and you never have to lie, cheat, steal, deceitfully or malevolently influence anyone, and you'll never have to look over your shoulder. Would that be helpful? Okay. Again, everything I'm giving you, there's a whole lot more in like we do in the live trainings and stuff, but I don't have time to give you 3 days. You know, if this is the scope of everything we teach in our events and in our books and stuff like that, I've got time for this much. So I'm going to take you as far as I can, as fast as I can, and point you in the direction of where to go next. So this next piece, I'm going to have to share my screen for this one. Okay. But it's going to teach you something very, very powerful. This is called the emotional motivation checklist. So now you feel what it's like to move through the world from a victorious state, right? What if we could, once we have this victorious state, what if we could add in all the things that emotionally fire us up and motivate us to get what we want? What if we could, what if we could get so fired up about something that procrastination was just like a proverbial fart in the breeze, just gone? Would that be helpful? Okay, so for this next one, I'm going to share my screen. I have to X out of the. You have to excuse me. I'm going to have to X out of the chat because I need to see what I'm going to be doing. Hold on a second. Okay. So can you guys all see my screen here? Okay, good. I would recommend, if you can, take a screenshot of it. This is the template we're going to follow. So first and foremost, I want you to close you're going to need something. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil. And I prefer that it's something you can physically write with rather than like typing on a keyboard. Okay. And I can explain why at the live event when we're there. Okay. I want you to close your eyes and think back. to when you saw me advertising for this webinar. You see, when you chose to come on this webinar, there was something you wanted. Something you wanted to be able to do as a byproduct of this webinar, right? Something you wanted to be able to achieve as a byproduct from this webinar, right? I want you to take a moment and just like you see in section A, I want you to write at the top of your page, what do I want from today's webinar? I want you to just write the question and just in your own words, first impressions, just write what comes up. What do you want to be able to do? You don't type it in the chat, Peter. Type it on your piece of paper. Okay, we're tapping into some very, very powerful mind principles here that I don't have time to explain, but you don't need to understand the principles to use the principles. In part 3, I'll go back and I'll explain the exact principles that we're using. Right now, I want you to have the experience. So I want you to write what you want to get from this seminar, what it's going to do for you. Pay attention, as you see here, pay attention to the exact words that come up. Okay, and write those down. Now I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think about having this, right? Let me just draw this in here. So if we got this, answer the next question. What's important about getting that to you? And write your answer verbatim here. Okay, so what do you get? What do you want from the webinar? What's it going to do for you? Imagine having it. What's important about that to you? And again, I'm not going to ask you necessarily what that importance is. It's for you to know. Okay, but write it down physically. So you should have something for each of these spaces. You should have something on your paper filled out. When you're done, when you've gotten that far, just type done in the chat. Oops, I'm sorry. Apparently, I did not. My bad. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that for some reason it didn't show on the screen. So can you guys see that okay? Cool. Is it okay now, Mark, or is it still small? Okay. Still small, but okay. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. I'm working with a brand new webinar interface, and I don't know how to make things easier to see. Let me try this really quick. Not only am I working with a new webinar interface, I'm also working with a much smaller screen than I'm used to playing with. So can you see it better now? Okay, excellent. So again, what do you want to get from this webinar as a byproduct of this webinar? What's it going to do for you? Write down your exact words. Ask yourself that once you start imagining what that's like and what it's going to do for you, ask yourself, what's important to me about getting this? And write the first thing that pops up into your head. It's really important to always focus on the first thing that pops into your head without any kind of editing whatsoever. Okay? And then imagine having that. Imagine having that. Hold on a second. Somehow, some way. There we go. Imagine having that. And ask yourself the question again, what's important about it? And just keep repeating that process until you have questions A through D answered. So ultimately, if you got this from tonight's webinar and it gave you the ability to do this, and this was what was important about that, and you got that, and then what was important about that was you got this. David said you had it perfectly, then we need readers. All right. Do you need me to go back to the split screen? Okay. So when you've got A through D answered, just type done in the chat for me. Okay, Sandeep's done. Done, Mark, good. Tammy's done. No looking good here, impossible dreams. Okay, Paul done. Arita's done, excellent. Okay, good, you guys are starting to come in. There's about 106 of us in the chat, so I'll give it a couple more and then I wanna go to the next piece. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I'm gonna jump out of my screen now. And here's what I want us to do. Okay, here's what I want us to do. I want you to take your piece of paper and I want you to hold it up at about maybe the camera kind of messes with my background a little bit, but hold it up at about a 45-degree angle. And all I want you to do now is I want you to read out loud your answers to A, B, C, and D. Read them out loud 5 times. First, before you do that, stop before you do that. Scan your body. Notice how you feel right now, mentally, physically, emotionally. Okay, take a snapshot of it. Now hold this up at about a 45-degree angle and read A, B, C, D out loud 5 times. 5 times, nice and loud. And when you're done, type in the chat how you feel. Jeff says, awesome. Paul says, lost, impossible now. All right, Paul, I don't know what that means. You have to elaborate for me, Paul. Do you need me to put the checklist back up? Regis says, full of gravity, feel challenged. Excellent. Don't mind the car alarms out in the parking lot. I have a very sensitive microphone. Okay, hold on a second. I saw something flash and then it was gone. All right. Wait, I need my readers. Let me see here. All right, is everybody else with me? Okay, very good. Paul, I can when I see you, I can help you with some of that stuff with your leg. Exact words are important here. Yes. Okay. So how do you feel? How did you feel at the beginning of the exercise? Done, but do you read you don't need to read the question, but you can if you want to, Kareem. How do you feel now? What's the energy level in your body like? What's the emotion that you're feeling compared to where you started? Mark says, done, feel more excited and alive. Feel like it's achievable. Feels amazing. What would you think would happen if you started doing your manifestation work now? You think you might have a better shot? It will manifest. What do you think would happen now? Notice how you feel now. What if you could make, this is important, what if you could make every single person that you ever meet feel like this or even better about you and what you want them to do? Would that be powerful? Would that be useful? You just learned how to do it. Now, when we teach this in Law of Attraction and in reprogramming subconscious mind, This process is called the emotional motivation checklist. This is, I want you to write this down. This is really, really important. We all know, if I were to ask somebody what thoughts are made of, I would get all kinds of answers. But here's something that we need to understand on a more fundamental level. Emotions are energy. That energy has a frequency and a vibration. The way we change frequency is by changing body feelings. Okay? When you understand that you have an emotional motivation checklist, a set of emotional desires and needs for every single thing that you can conceive of, you can utilize this combined with your physical state control to create a superpowered, energized state with an extra charge of energy that now you can now channel and use for manifestation. That's how this works. You guys following me so far? Do you understand how it stacks? Peter says it works for me every time. Yeah, right. Well, or get the replay, right? Sorry about that. I get excited about this stuff, especially when I see a lot of people up there doing the drills and actually having the experience, right? So how many of you would like to take this further? How many of you would like to build take this energy source that we've created and learn how to channel it and use it for all kinds of different stuff? Would that be okay? All right. So I promised you I would teach you the fundamentals. I would give you the basics. I would show you how to take it to the next level. And then in part 3, we'd circle back, we'd build on these foundations and show you how to do more cool stuff. Would that sound like a plan? All right. So I got to close the chat for this. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to how to take things to the next level. With your permission, I'd like to talk to you about the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Home Study Program. Okay, this is a course that I developed specifically for people to learn how to manifest and clear their own blocks to success from the comfort of their own home. And those of you who know me know that I'm a big believer in live learning. But every now and then, you meet people who, for whatever reason, they can't get to a live event, but they need the tactics and the tools to get the help that they need to change their lives. And so I sat down one day and I said, okay, if I were going to design a program that people could use from their home to create the life they wanted, to manifest better health, be free of pain, be more mobile, to manifest money or love or success by whatever standards that they set, what would I teach them, and what order would I teach them that they could do this easily, naturally, and automatically? And this is what we came up with. So with your permission, I'm going to go through this with you as quickly but thoroughly as we can. Then we're going to circle back. We're going to pick up on our state control work, and I'm going to show you some of the most powerful. Think of what you just learned as the bullet for the gun. We're going to show you how to build the gun. Okay, so the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Program is about manifesting the life you want the way you want it. It's all about taking your life to the next level. It's about making more money and closing more deals, getting more dates, helping more people, being more confident, being more powerful, moving through the world, being charming and charismatic and irresistible. And as I recall, that's what a lot of you folks were asking about at the beginning of tonight's webinar. I'm going to show you how to begin to tap into the power of your own autonomic nervous system to manifest those things for yourself. So here's what I put together, and this offer is good until tonight, July 6, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. And it's what this is going to do for you. It's going to help you in all the ways I mentioned and a whole lot more. How is it going to do that? It's going to teach you how to unlock the power of your subconscious mind, but not just the subconscious mind that most of us think about, because you have 3 layers to your subconscious or other than conscious mind. You have your physical body, which is controlled by your autonomic nervous system. You have your energy nervous system, and then you have your spiritual or quantum nervous system, as I like to call it. We're going to teach you how to tap into all 3 of those levels so that you can begin to manifest by orders of magnitude, how to find and remove blocks to your health, wealth, and happiness that you didn't know you had, how to become a money magnet where you literally can just magnetize people and opportunities into your life that lead you to become more financially prosperous, how to influence people remotely, how to influence events remotely, right? How to find and remove the hidden negativity in your life that you didn't even know you had, right? How to find the beliefs you didn't know you had that are holding you back. We're going to revisit the exercise we did earlier. I'm going to ask you some questions about it in part 3 of this webinar that are going to help you zero in on exactly how to find those limiting beliefs and how to begin to remove them. We're going to teach you how to clear up stuff that just doesn't seem to go away. The way I like to talk about this, if you've ever found yourself hiring the same employee with a different face, or dating the same person with a different face, this is exactly what you need to fix that problem once and for all. I'm going to share with you a powerful new Yinformation method for programming your mind to attract the things you want and change what you change what you deserve. There was a question asked earlier: is what if there's a conflict with your subconscious mind and the affirmation? This Yinformation process actually bypasses that resistance most of the time, and I'll explain why that is in part 3. And you'll learn it even deeper when you come to like a live training or what have you. We're going to teach you how to systematically delete the negativity and vibrational imprints from your past. Remember we talked about going through that intersection and all those little tapes that would start to play? We're going to show you how to find them and remove them from your system once and for all, so that when you move through the world, you send out a clean, powerful vibrational signature that pulls into your life exactly what you want without being tainted by negative or limiting beliefs, thoughts, or manifestations that are embedded in your signal. Right? I know it sounds a little technical, but basically what happens is anytime you try to manifest something and you have a trauma or a limiting belief that's running on autopilot below the threshold, that actually taints or poisons the manifestation. That's why you don't always get kind of exactly what you want, or it's mostly right, but there's a few things that are off, right? A lot of times it's because of these other vibrational anomalies that haven't been cleared. We'll show you how to find and delete those. How to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. This is one of the biggest game changers that I ever came across with. It turns out that there are at least 5 psychological characteristics that all naturally lucky people share. And once you know what they are, and you have like the identity by design technology, which is where this material is drawn from, you can actually install and amplify those traits in your life and in your mind and body, so that you move through the world like a naturally lucky person. It's really powerful. And again, if we've all met people that I used to make a joke. I had this buddy, Scott Sandlin, and Scott is easily one of the luckiest mofos I have ever met. If a plane traveling at 20,000 feet carrying a safe full of money accidentally dropped its cargo hatch and the safe fell out and opened on the way down, the money would fall in Scott Sandlin's sunroof. And he's my good friend, but you've all met these people, right? Turns out there's 5 psychological characteristics that flip switches in your neurology that cause you to become more lucky. It was discovered by I think I read the first article in Psychology Today, and I learned how to adapt and install these principles in myself and then into my students. And they started having more and more lucky events happen. And it's been a really powerful process for them. So it takes everything you know how to do, and it doesn't negate the ability to work hard, but it makes you have to work less hard. And that's kind of one of the things that we have to look at when we are tapping into law of attraction is, all right, I can manifest these things, but how hard do I have to work to do it? So, and is there a way to manifest more stuff without adding more workload? This is one of the ways that you can leverage that. Where you can manifest things into your life without having to make these Herculean changes. Sometimes you have to make them, but lucky people tend to find ways automatically around the tough stuff, or the tough stuff that happens becomes a building block or a blessing in disguise. We're going to show you how to put these characteristics to work for you so that you can begin to have that kind of life. Okay. We're going to teach you one of the most powerful manifestation engines I've ever discovered. It's called image cycling. Image cycling is what I have used to manifest patently impossible stuff. It's based on a technology that has an extraordinary cure rate in curing rats bred to die of cancer when they are injected with a cancer that's always fatal. It's based on the work of a gentleman by the name of Dr. Bill Bankston. It is not his healing system, but my image cycling manifestation technology is based on what I learned from Dr. Bankston. You can read his book, The Energy Cure, and you can read about his book, Energy Healing, and read about this image cycling process. Dr. Bill has more documented cases of curing rats of cancer in double-blind laboratory controlled trials than any other energy healing system on the planet. So this particular technique that I have found is one of those situations where a person was looking for gold and they found oil, but they were so focused on the gold, they disregarded the oil. I saw the oil and said, okay, if this is one of the most powerful manifestations tools that exists, why not teach it for that? With healing being the side benefit, you can use it for healing as well. I have one of my students, his name is Bernie. We call him the Cotton King because he's mastered this technology so powerfully that he can charge cotton and put it on people, and all their bleeding stops and all their swelling and pain go away in days. It's insane what overlearning and mastering this technique can do. Okay, and that's just a piece of what you're going to be learning. Okay, in fact, one of the things you'll be doing in the image cycling section is you'll be learning how to change water. You'll actually be able to transform the taste and texture of water after 5 or 6 minutes of the image cycling process as a way for you to prove to yourself that this is a real thing. Okay, so that's a total value of $1,997. But because I wanted to put a package together for you, because I wanted to give you the most I could so you get the furthest you could fastest, here's what else I got for you. If you grab your course today before the deadline, 11:59 p.m. tonight, you're going to get these special exclusive bonuses. You're going to get the Vibrational Influence UK Special Edition. This is a full 5-day vibrational influence training that I did, where I taught 2 extra days. My normal vibrational influence training is 3 days, where we taught 2 full days of extra material. We taught people how to unlock the secret powers of their subconscious mind, to gain control of their mind and body, to unlock the unlimited potential inherent in them. We taught people certain hand positions and meditations that are designed to amplify their physical, mental, and psychic strength, how to connect and harmonize energies in a room or within their body. We taught people how to control energies. There are certain hand positions and mudra systems that we taught them for controlling and manipulating energy. We taught them how to begin to develop precognition and telepathic abilities. We have hand signs and mudras for that we taught. We combined that with the image cycling process to speed up and hypercycle the energetics. So they were developing in Chinese face reading, you have this substance known as Jing, which is derived from energies. We teach you how to build the Jing in your body and cycle it through these hand positions to create very powerful effects. We have hand mudras for manifestation practices, as well as things that will teach you to become unnoticeable to people who aren't in your same vibrational field. It's kind of a vibrational form of invisibility. You have to work up to that, but these were part of these extra bonus trainings that we did. We gave people their first Reiki attunements. We taught them how to do remote healing. We taught people how to harness the forces of the universe to basically do whatever you want, how to psychically and energetically protect yourself, how to heal yourself and others using various forms of energy healing. We taught the pranic system versus the DNA theta system. We taught the Reiki system. We taught how that all falls into the aspects of hermetics training. Okay, how to clear your chakras and master your own energy field, literally to manifest pretty much anything you want, how to improve and increase your psychic skills, and a whole lot more. I really, really love this program. I'm very proud of it. And it has just blown people away with what they're able to do with it. If you're one of the people who has used the techniques or was at this training, type in the chat what you experienced at the training. This is a $2,497 value, but we're going to give it to you 100% free because I want you to have everything you need to manifest the life you want the way that you want it. Total combined value, if you took the Hidden Laws of Attraction basic course that I was just talking about, you combine it with this, you're looking at $4,494 in total value. But we're not done yet because, again, I want you to have everything I can to help you learn this from home if necessary. So I'm going to teach you also, I'm going to give you a course specifically designed. I know some of you have some pain issues and some body issues going on. This is our course. This is another one of my favorite courses. This is a derivative of our vibrational influence course. It's called Vibrational Healing, Energy Healing and Mastery Secrets Made Easy. This is a course that will truly give you the ability to unlock your true healing potentials and abilities in the shortest amount of time possible. It'll teach you how to, once again, unlock the healing powers of your subconscious mind, find and remove energetic blocks to health, wealth, and happiness that you didn't even know that you had, how to become a master energy healer, how to find and remove the hidden blocks or manifestation triggers to the illnesses that you're suffering from or your clients are suffering from, how to powerful new energy control methods for programming your mind and energy bodies, and empower your healing and manifestation skills for maximum results in minimum time. I don't know if you can read. I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit bigger. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Yeah, it's not going to work. So hold on a second. I'm going to make this a little bigger so it's easier to see. Oops. Okay. All right. We're going to teach you how to remove negativity from your past, the stuff you didn't even know you had, so that when you look back on the past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better. I want to teach you how to discover the most powerful engine of personal transformation and manifestation technique ever. This, again, is a variation of the image cycling technology and the spinning and magic framing techniques that you've seen us use on YouTube in combination together. So this is a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. Total combined value is $6,991, but we're not done yet. You heard me mention, as I was talking about hidden laws of attraction and the 5 characteristics of lucky people, and how to indoctrinate or embed those in your personality, how to find and remove blocks to your success. You heard me mention something called the Identity by Design Protocol. This course, Secrets of Personality Transformation, is the complete Identity by Design Protocol, the 7 stages of identity transformation that allow you to remove blocks to your success and remove stuff you didn't even know was there, dissolve things that go away and just keep coming back, how to find and remove the hidden negativity that's screwing up your life, how to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away, change the crappy voice in your head to a voice that builds you up, inspires and motivates you rather than tears you apart. If you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, it's the voice in your head that just said, what voice, right? We'll show you how to change that so you have a voice that's constantly feeding you a steady stream of deservingness, forgiveness, motivation, and tells you all the reasons about how and why you can do things, okay? We'll teach you how to resolve the negativity from your past. Like I said, how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics that you want. So once again, if you take part A, hidden laws of attraction and the 5 characteristics of lucky people, you combine it with this specific technique for installing those traits, and now you can become one of the luckiest people you know, and you can do it in less than a day, right? That's how powerful this technique is, but you have to go through all 7 stages, okay? Otherwise, it's like putting clean coffee in a dirty cup, right? You want to clean all the crap out, remove the anchors, and amplify the jet engine. That's what this particular program, this Identity by Design Protocol, will do for you. It's a $2,497 value. It's designed so that you can do it all by yourself, on yourself. So if you just follow the training process and just stay with the demos and then find a buddy that you can practice on and with, you'll have a really powerful handle on these techniques and you'll be able to use them for whatever you want. Total combined value is $9,488. This is a $2,497 value. We're going to give it to you free. Why? Because I want you to have everything you need in this package. Okay. So a byproduct from this training is that you're going to have the keys to get everything you want and become the person that you truly want to be. Total value on this is $9,488 monetarily. But if you stop for a moment and think about the kind of person you will be after you've done this training, what's the price tag on that, right? You know, one of my mentors used to say, if I was giving you quarters for nickels, how many would you buy, right? And it wasn't wrong. These techniques are life-changing and they will absolutely transform every aspect of your life. But I don't want you to believe me. Believe the people from Planet David in the chat right next to you who have used this, who are products of this training and who are using it every single day to not only make their lives better, but the lives of the people that come to them for help. If you truly want to make a difference in the world, this is your shot. Okay? This is your shot. Our final bonus for those of you, because I know a lot of you have this desire, you have this need for a partner, right? So as a special extra bonus, in 2021 and 2022, I taught 2 online classes called the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass. As a byproduct of this training, and as you register for your packages, I'm going to give you special access to these members-only trainings where we will teach you systematically how to find and attract your soulmate. We'll talk to you about what a soulmate is and what a soulmate is not. We'll talk to you about some of the most important things that most people don't even think about when it comes to soulmates. For example, we'll talk about the surprising ways that the chemistry of your body can really contribute to your infatuation and feelings of love towards another human being that may not be a good fit for you. We'll teach you how to overcome the myth of soulmates. You know, how many times have you met somebody or you moved through the world and says, oh, they complete me? That's really not what a soulmate's supposed to do. So if you're suffering from that illusion, you need to understand what soulmates really are, what they're supposed to be doing, and how to know when you've got one, right? And if you really want one. We're going to teach you how to eliminate negative relationship programming from your childhood. This is a big one. We bring so much baggage into our relationships that wasn't even our stuff. It was stuff we learned from our parents or our grandparents or our primary caregivers. I've looked, you know, in the 15 plus years, actually closer to 20 years now that I've been in private practice, and I've looked into the hearts and minds of literally thousands of people. And you know what you see when you look inside that many, many hearts? You see a scared little child, desperate to be loved and terrified of being alone. And then you discover that so much of that terror and that need for love happened between the ages of 0 and 5. And if you can just tap into that and change things there, all their stuff goes away and they become open to a better class and type of partner. Okay. We're going to teach you how to prepare yourself for the grown-up communications in a relationship, techniques to move from infatuation to true love and understanding the stages of it so you know where you fall in that continuum, so you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater because the constant rush of chemicals that you get at the beginning of a relationship doesn't feel quite the same. It doesn't mean you're not in love. It means the chemicals are changing and you need to know what that means so you can decide what to do. Many people don't understand this, and so they become love junkies. They move from relationship to relationship, and what they're actually doing is chasing that hormone high rather than understanding it's a natural first stage, but it leads to other stages. And if you don't know what those are, you'll never stick around long enough to find that that one that matters. So I hope that makes sense. We're going to teach you how to determine what you need in a relationship. In order to do that, you actually have to know what you need in your life. We have certain drills and certain questions that we're going to. You guys remember the emotional motivation checklist that we started this training off with? We actually do that. We do one of those for your entire life. We call it the life values inventory. And once you understand how that works, you can go about creating a life that attracts the ideal partner who is going to be a value add to your life rather than something that takes away from it. Okay, there are strategies that are involved that are kind of counterintuitive in finding and attracting your soulmate. And we cover those in this training. We're going to teach you strategies for keeping that spark. How do we get that oxytocin rush back? How do we get the newness back in our relationship? If I've been with somebody for 25 years, how do I get them feeling like newlyweds again? We're going to teach you some of the ways that you can do that and so much more. You'll discover why you're attracted to certain people and not others. You'll identify family patterns which contribute to your relationships. You'll discover the qualities you most want in a life partner, learn basic and advanced communication skills that allow you to demonstrate your love to your partner in a way that they can receive it and receive it and reciprocate. You'll discover the difference between sex, sexuality, and sensuality, and the role each one plays in your perfect relationship. You'll learn how to identify potential relationship challenges and how to handle them. And that's just a small segment of what we'll actually be covering in the Soulmate Secrets members only video masterclass. Okay, this is a perfect add-on. It's kind of the cherry on the sundae for the Get Everything You Want in Life, Hidden Laws of Attraction, Ultimate Manifestation package. Total value on this particular course alone is $1,997, but we're going to give it to you absolutely free, 100% free if you grab your package before the end of tonight's webinar. Total value is $11,485. Okay. So let's just review everything. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study course. It's a $1,997 value. You're going to get the Vibrational Influence UK Special Edition 5-day training with absolutely massive amounts of energetic and manifestation teachings and trainings in there. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give you Vibrational Healing 2021. It's a $2,497 value, and it's still brand new because we haven't released a new Vibrational Healing course since 2021. We'll actually be videotaping a brand new version probably next month. $2,497 value. We're going to give you Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course. It's a $2,497 value. And of course, you're going to get our super bonus, the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Soulmate Secrets, members only masterclass. It's a $1,997 value. Total value today is $11,485 if you were to go to the website and purchase these things individually, which, by the way, you can't. Some of these aren't available on our website. They're only available in this special webinar course. So if any of these things appeal to you, now is the time to grab yours when we allow you to. You can't get it just yet. We're not done. So today I want to give you the best deal humanly possible. Like I said, I love you all and I want you to thrive. I want you to turn lemons into lemonade. I want you to get everything you want in life. So today, to help you guys move forward, I'm going to give you the best deal I can, the best deal humanly possible. So you're not going to have to pay $11,485. Heck, you're not even going to pay $9,000. You're not going to pay $6,000. We're not even going to make you pay $4,497, right? Believe it or not, you're not even going to have to pay $2,497. I'm not even going to charge you $1,497 that I normally charge for this course. If you go to our last Hidden Laws of Attraction webinar, you'll see that our basic bonus price was $1,497. We're not even going to do that. For those of you who know you want this, for those of you who know it will change your life, if you have answered yes to any of the questions that I've asked you today, you can get everything I've just talked about. The master keys to changing your life by your standards and your definitions. Become a master of your mind, your body, your soul, to chart your course in life. You can get it all for one low installment of just $997. And if you need a little help, we can break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397. All you need to do to get yours is go to this link right here. Go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. One more time with feeling. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Hidden Laws of Attraction. Okay, this is again your shot. I think I haven't run this webinar or made an offer like this or even close to this in almost a year. Right. So if this is something that resonates with you, if you want to, it's never going to get any cheaper than this. It's never going to get any easier right now than this right here. Okay. Just go right now. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Do it now. Now, for those of you who are a little on the fence, maybe you're worried, maybe it's like $997. I don't know. This might be risky. No, it isn't. There's absolutely no risk here. After you've gotten this course and you've put these things into operation, you have 60 days to play. If after 60 days, you are on the fast track to making more money, finding the love of your life, attracting more success in the areas of your life that it's important to you, okay? If you're not manifesting or on a fast track to manifesting your dreams, feeling more secure, more confident, if you're not winning more and more socially, professionally, financially, pick up the phone, give us a call, send us an email. And if you're not getting the results and we can't help you fix it, we'll refund every dime that you invested. You have absolutely nothing to risk here. The risk is on us. If this thing doesn't do more than I said it does, I'll be shocked and you'll get a refund. All right. All you got to do is click the link, get your course, watch the first set of videos, start doing the drills and getting the skills. Okay. It doesn't get any simpler, right? It doesn't get any simpler. Full 100% satisfaction guarantee, or I'll refund your money. And if you've downloaded the courses, I'll even let you keep the courses. Okay. Now, please don't screw me. You know what I'm saying? Right? All you got to do to get yours now is go to actually change that. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. I think that's right. Let me back this up here. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Apparently I missed a link when I was updating the PowerPoint. Again, now for those of you who are truly motivated, for those of you who absolutely like free stuff, stay tuned, because I like to, I have a saying in my world. Let me flip the switch here. I have a saying in my world that the behavior that gets rewarded gets repeated. Behavior that gets repeated gets reinforced. One of the things that I need you to be to get the life you want, there's two things that you need. One is you need an identity and a belief system that supports the life you want to have, the identity you want to, either the life you want to lead, what you want to represent. The first few courses that I shared with you give you all of that. The one thing that I can't provide initially is the second one, and that is action. You need an identity that supports what you want to create, and you need to take the actions necessary to move that forward. So I can't make you take action, but what I can do is I can reward the actions you take. And this is what I mean. For the next 15 to 20 people who grab this package right now, I am going to include, free of charge, these special fast action bonuses. These are things that will completely take what you've got in the previous package to a whole new level. Let's take a look at what we got. First and foremost, we're going to give you 3-month trial membership to one of the most powerful life-transforming programs I ever created. This is the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. And what it is, it's a hands-on training. On the third Saturday of every month, we all get together either in person or online. And what I do is I say, hey, Seth, what do you want to learn? Peter, what do you want to learn? Corrine, what do you want to learn? Brandon, what do you want to learn? And I write everything up on the board. And I look at where they all connect. I create a lesson plan on the spot. And for the next 4.5 to 6 hours, I drill you on those skills until you can do them in your sleep. You don't get a certificate from the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. What you do get is hands-on training, skill sets and feedback, and the opportunity to network and connect with people just like you who want to learn the same things you want to learn. We've been running this program since October of 2010, meeting on the third Saturday of every month from 11 to 4 p.m. Double that when we have to skip a month because of my training schedule. We videotaped every single course, every single session, and we give you a full access to the 11-year archive. Actually, it's more than 11 years now. It's going on 12 years. You can stuff that's never been seen on YouTube, stuff that on everything from attraction and manifestation to regression to psychic skills to accelerated learning to marketing, seduction, you name it. If it's something that my people want to know about, body language, behavioral modification, regression and trauma, NLP, language patterns, we cover it. Advanced energetic and spiritual practices, we teach it. Okay, I did a whole training last Saturday on what I call filling the vessel, which is a 9-stage process for connecting with the divine, the earth energy, and manifesting pretty much anything you want, and then creating psychic shields around you, right? I just spent the whole day teaching the group how to do that so they could move through the world feeling more protected, right? When you join the mastermind, we focus that day only on the things that you truly want to learn, and we make sure that you can actually leave that training with the ability to do them, okay? You get access to 10 years, 11, 12 years of that video archive, stuff that's never been shown on YouTube. It's a $1,597 value. We're going to give it to you absolutely free, 100% free. So if you add that the Mastermind Mentoring Program and the archive, it's a total value of $13,082. One of the biggest game changers for you is going to be the ability to practice these skills with people just like you who want the same things you want. This is one of the greatest opportunities you're ever going to have to do that from the comfort of your own home. If you're local to the San Diego or Southern California area and you want to come do this live and in person, when we resume live person masterminds, you'll be able to come and do it in the room with me for the full 4 to 6 hours, right? It's open, okay? We're also going to include attraction mastery, dating, mating, and relating skills for men and women. Think of this like the yin to the yang of the Soulmate Secrets class. When we're looking at soulmate secrets, what we're looking at is we're looking for at the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of our spiritual other half, the person who's going to has the potential for making us the happiest. It's also about understanding who do I need to be to have the kind of partner I want to have, right? So there's a lot of inner game, spiritual and vibrational, heart-centered stuff going on there. But what happens a lot of times is people do all of these, finding my soulmate classes, but what's lacking are the actual advanced social skills and understanding of social dynamics to actually approach, meet, and attract the kinds of people that you want to meet. And so we've added this course, Attraction Mastery, as a way to round out the Soulmate Secrets training. You don't need to use every single thing in the course, although you certainly could. But what this will do is it will give you the ability to actually go out into the world, and instead of just waiting for something to happen, you can actually go out and make something happen. But because you've done the Soulmate Secret training, you understand where to look and what to look for, so that when you go out into the world, you can either wait for yourself to be approached, or you can go and make approaches or set up approaches and create conversations that allow you to really get to know and understand who a person really, really is, while at the same time generating attraction, connection, trust, and commitment, right? Very, very powerful. I don't teach this that often, but for this particular course, because it is really about finding and bringing into your life the things that you truly want, I felt that this particular course was the perfect complement to the Soulmate Secrets Mastery Training. They were originally taught as standalone classes, but when you integrate them, you get us a powerful attraction magnet that's greater than the sum of the parts. And you'll avoid horrible first dates. You'll avoid relationships that never seem to go anywhere. You'll be able to carry on conversations. And even if you're not a great conversationalist, the person that you're talking to will think you're the most fascinating, amazing person they've ever met. And that's just a tiny bit of what this is about. You'll learn how to read body language in ways most people never do. You'll know who wants you to approach versus who doesn't. You'll understand the subtle subliminal dynamics that women use to get men to approach them, and why, and how to interpret the subtle signals that they're sending, so that you know when it's time to move to the next level or go the fuck away, right? Without losing your self-esteem or getting kicked in the nards or whatever. This is a class for both genders. It doesn't matter what your gender orientation is. If you're a man who wants to date other men, that's fine. If you're a woman who wants to date other women, these skills still work. If you're non-binary, it doesn't matter, okay? These are universal attraction skills. And once you can recognize and calibrate who the person is in front of you and what makes them tick, you can decide if that who they are and what they are matches what you're looking for. And then you'll have the complete set of tools to take that relationship to the next level if that's something that you want to do. Okay, it's a $2,497 value, and it's yours absolutely free because we want you to have everything you need to be successful. Total combined value on this package is $15,579. All you got to do to get yours is go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA. That's www.nlppower.com/HLOA. And lest you think I'm done, for those of you who sign up for the webinar before I log off today, remember the fast action bonuses, they go away when I do. The rest of that package is available until 11:59 tonight. But if you try to get this VIP or these fast action bonuses after I log off the webinar, you won't qualify. So if you want, what happened to my line? Anyway, that's weird. So if you want to take advantage of this package, now is the time. This is probably the coup de grace. This is our VIP super ticket. This is going to give you free admission to our next Hidden Laws of Attraction live certification boot camp scheduled for San Diego, California, August 22nd to the 24th here in sunny California. It's limited to the first 17 people, not 21. I'm not sure why that happened. There we go. Okay. It's limited to the first 17 people to register for the full Mondo package today. Okay. It's a $2,750 value, and we will take you deep dive into every single thing I've teased you with in the home study course and a whole lot more. We'll give you the secrets behind the secrets behind the secrets. In my YouTube channel that I got cut off from, people ask me about how to cultivate and use sexual energy for manifestation. We'll show you how to do that stuff too. Okay, it's a full immersion, Hidden Laws of Attraction training, where you'll learn every law of mental dynamics that we have, every law of hermetic influence that works, how they work together. You'll understand the holographic nervous system and how to use it for manifestation, how to remove blocks to your success, how to remotely influence situations, circumstances, and events, how to create thought forms to influence people and events. We'll show you how that's actually done safely. We'll teach you about how to unpack certain things you've brought with you from other lifetimes or other genetic memories, vows of chastity or poverty, things that you may not realize keep you stuck. Okay, this is a deep dive into how to make the law of attraction actually work for you. And it's my job, once you come in, to make sure you don't leave until you can do it all. You'll learn the image cycling, you'll learn the informations levels 1, 2, and 3. You'll learn how to change your belief systems. You'll learn how to reframe beliefs instantaneously, how to install the 5 characteristics of lucky people, and move through the world with more energy and more ability to command and influence than you ever thought possible. And that's just getting started. You learn how to control your psycho-emotional states so nobody can push your buttons ever again, and then use it to get everything you want in life. It's a $2,750 value. We're going to give this to you free. Okay, now this VIP super ticket is good for Hidden Laws of Attraction, or if you choose, we have a special 4-day Identity by Design live training that we are actually, you can swap this out for, and you can actually attend the Identity by Design training virtually. We have our amazing Holly, our online mentor, is actually going to be agreed to be our mentor and our prompter and our proctor for the online training. So if you want our Identity by Design live hypnosis and hypnotherapy certification, which is basically the Secrets of Personality Transformation course, taught in a way that you can actually use it with clients, you can attend that absolutely free virtually. All you got to do is let Stephanie know that it's something you want, and she will add it to the list. Okay, so total value is $18,329. If you add the Identity by Design training, that's a $3,150 value if you were to go to a live event. So do the math. You're looking at over $21,400 and something there. My math is not good, which is why I have guys like Seth and Brandon. But if you want the VIP if you want the VIP ticket and the virtual event training, if you're one of the next, if you're one of the next 8 people to register right now, I'll throw in both events. I'll give you the VIP super ticket for the live training in San Diego, and I'll also give you a fast pass to our Identity by Design virtual event in Las Vegas. Okay. Thank you, Seth. $21,479. My people did not know I was going to offer the Identity by Design event. So that may, if you hear a little smoke and cursing in the background, it's because they didn't have a chance to change the offer page. So once again, for the next 8 people that click that link right now, I will give you both events. I will give you the VIP super ticket for Hidden Laws of Attraction live here in San Diego, August 22nd through the 24th. But I will also give you a fast pass to our next Identity by Design training virtual event, July 17th through the 20th or 20th. What are the dates for Identity by Design, Seth? Can you put them in the chat? August 17th through the 21st, I think. And that's a virtual ticket. So you can't show up in Las Vegas and expect to get in. 17th through the 20th. Thank you, Stephanie. So once again, it's a twofer. All right. If you're one of the next 8 people to grab your package now, I will not only give you the VIP super ticket, I will also give you a fast pass to the Identity by Design 4-day hypnotherapy intensive, July 17th through the 20th. Okay. All you got to do is click that link, go to www.nlppower.com. Second, nlppower.com/HOOA. And the folks out there will tell you I've never given a deal like this. Why? Because I want to. I don't want you to have a single excuse for not getting everything you want. I can't make it any easier. I can't make this package any better. Well, I could, but I won't, because if you're not ready to take an action on this, you're not ready. So that's okay, right? There will be other opportunities at regular price. Total value in this package right now, if you're one of the next 8 people to click that link, total value is $21,479. You're going to get 2 events plus all this. The Hidden Laws of Attraction home study course valued at $1,997. Vibrational Influence Special Edition, $2,497 value. We're going to give it to you free. Vibrational Healing home study course, $2,497 value. Free. Secrets of Personality Transformation, $2,497 value. Free. We're going to give you the Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, $1,997 value. Free. We're going to give you the Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive, $2,497 value. Free. We're going to give you 3-month trial membership plus the archive to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, $1,597 value. Free. And you're going to get a twofer. You're going to get the VIP super ticket to a Hidden Laws of Attraction and a virtual fast pass to the Identity by Design virtual event live in Las Vegas. It's a $2,750 value plus a $3,150 value. Total value, if you do the math, Seth, $21,479. But if you're not one of the first 8, you're still getting the $18,329 worth of stuff that you can start training right away in the comfort of your own home. Now, let me explain something extra about this VIP super ticket. Once again, it's only $997, or if you need to, it's 3. It's not 4 installments, it's 3 easy installments of just $397. This VIP super ticket for Hidden Laws of Attraction has a few benefits to it. A, if the event sells out and you have one of these tickets, we'll make a seat for you. If you can't come at the last minute, all you got to do is pick up the phone, let Stephanie know, and we will move you to the next Law of Attraction training. You won't lose that ticket until you actually use it. If you want to gift that ticket to somebody who you think needs it more, you can do that as well. If the price goes up on the next Law of Attraction training that we do, yours stays the same. You have a price guarantee. So you can use it, cancel it at any time. You have it until you use it. Price guarantee. You can give it away if you want to. This is one of the most powerful items that we have, and it's the fastest way to take your skills to the next level. Right? So once again, one installment of $9.97 or three, not four, three easy installments of just $3.97 each. All you got to do to get yours is go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA. That's www.nlppower.com/hidden laws of attraction. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Okay, so listen, we're going to take a 7-minute break so you guys can finalize whatever it is you're going to do, make arrangements, reach out to Stephanie, and get your questions answered. When we come back, we're going to go back to what we started in level 1. We're going to look at the Yinformation system. We're going to look at finding the blocks to your success you didn't know, the limiting beliefs or dominant thoughts you didn't know that you had. And we're just going to keep training and cycling through things until you guys are ready to log off. Okay, so you've got 7 minutes. It's 5:51 now. I'll see you at 5:57. We got about 2 minutes left on our break, but I'm back from the potty. So if you guys have a question, go ahead and type that in the chat. I'm happy to answer it. I really hope you guys will join me in this package and join us for the actual live training, Hidden Laws of Attraction, August 20th through the 24th here in San Diego. It's one of the most fun classes, and it's a great introduction to our secret inner door trainings that we do. It's one of the few energy trainings that we give to just anybody who comes in off the street. You don't need any training whatsoever to do hidden laws. Thank you. Holly's saying, for what it's worth, as a longtime member of David's community, I can't believe he is offering such an amazing deal. He gives good packages, but this is definitely the best package I've ever seen him. It's true. And again, one of the reasons that I'm doing it is because I see a lot of suffering out there. Welcome, Kavita. Thank you for joining us. I can't wait to meet you and have you in Planet David. Woohoo! I see, there's a lot of shit going on, we're recession this, post-COVID that, the stock market's going boobs up or whatever. You know what? We need to rise above it. We need skills and technologies that allow us to chart our course and create our reality. And every now and then, we don't need a handout. We need a hand up. These classes and these trainings have truly changed my life. And I have been both blessed and tasked with the mission to spread the teachings. And so that's what I'm doing. But there are spiritual laws in effect. There's certain things you can give away, but there's other things that there has to be, my spiritual, one of my guru teachers, Dr. Johnson, he'll tell you, nothing's free. And some of the most expensive stuff you'll get is free stuff. And so, when you do these processes, they will work. But once again, they're going to cause transformations. Let me jump out of, let me go. They're going to cause transformations in you. They're going to cause things to happen within you that have to happen for you to be the person who can have the things you want. But if nobody, I'm not, like I said, it's not all going to be peaches and cream. The fast track is often the most aggressive, I guess is a good way to say it, in a benevolent kind of way. Everything is going to work to your highest good. But that doesn't mean you won't have to face some of your inner demons. And so if you want the power, it's yours by right, but you have to earn back the right to access it. I don't know. Somebody out there needs to hear this. I don't know who, but somebody out there needs to hear this. So I can't make it any easier than it is, right? If this is calling to you, click the link and get in the program and let the universe take care of the rest, right? All you've got to do is take the actions. Let the universe do the heavy lifting, okay? Apply these teachings. Let me be your guide. Let Stephanie and Holly and Seth and, the amazing people in Planet David who've been through what you're about to do. Let us help. That's what we're here for, right? In our virtual communities, in our live events, you're not alone. Right? For what it's worth. I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying this, but somebody out there needed to hear that. So click the links and let's get you on the fast track to the life you want the way that you want it. Okay. www.nlppower.com/HLOA. All right. That being said, this officially transfers us into part 3. So in part 1 of the webinar, we taught you about the importance of knowing your outcome, knowing what you want, which means you have to know what you want and you have to have a way of measuring how you're getting it, right? And again, we will go much more in depth on the nuances of that in Hidden Laws of Attraction live training in August. But for right now, to get started, the only thing you need to know is what you want, stated in positive terms, how you know that you're getting it. How are you going to measure if you're moving towards it or away from it? Okay. The next piece is control your state. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the single biggest places that people get screwed up trying to use the law of attraction, for a lot of the reasons I talked about at the beginning of the webinar. First and foremost, they believe that if they just repeat words over and over and over again in their head, that it'll cause something to happen. It's true enough to be true, but not true enough to be reliable. Okay, now here's what I mean by that. If your emotional state is not conducive or in resonance with the affirmations or the suggestions or directions you're trying to give your nervous system or contact through your higher mind, nothing's going to happen. If the words that you're using are structurally incorrect, if you don't know the laws of mental dynamics about how certain words are processed by your other than conscious mind, you're going to get the opposite of what you want. If you don't have enough energy in the system, you're not going to get what you want. In fact, you'll probably wind up getting the opposite of what you want, because when you start interacting with the non-local universe, nature abhors a vacuum. And if the universe senses an energy deficit, it's like a suction cup. But because your vibration isn't high, you'll tend to attract more of that crap, which fills your reservoir with crap, right? So, yeah. So how do we start changing this spiral effect? First and foremost, understand that higher vibrations supersede or control or dominate lower vibrations. Now we have to delineate what's a higher vibration, what's a lower vibration. The way that we do that, the easiest, most functional way to begin to work with vibration in the body is through the use of kinesthetics or body feelings. If I have a happy, joyful, playful, loving, gratitude-based body state, I have a higher vibrational frequency. If I have a state that makes me angry, sad, depressed, lonely, envious, or any of those emotions, anything that leads me towards being more serious, I'm moving towards a negative vibrational state. If you want to attract things faster, you must operate from the highest state possible. Because if you try to do these things in a lower vibrational state, you're going to taint your manifestation. Does that make sense? Does everybody kind of following me with this? Hold on a second, let me get the chat back. Okay, cool. So we gave you the understanding of high vibration versus low vibration. We gave you body posture and breathing first. Then what we did was we took that body feeling, right? And we had you turn it into a color. Right? This is something you won't find in any manifestation class. In fact, this is the first time I've ever taught this in a law of attraction workshop. Human cells are made of heat, light, sound, electricity, and magnetism. Those are the five building blocks of every human cell. Heat, light, sound, electricity, and magnetism. If you go to a doctor's office and they treat you, drugs aside, what are they going to use? They're going to use heat, they're going to use light, they're going to use sound, they're going to use electricity, and they're going to use magnetism. If you go to a Qigong doctor, one who's well-trained, you know what they're going to use? Or a Chinese medical practitioner, you know what they're going to use? They're going to use heat, they're going to use light, they're going to use electricity, they're going to use magnetism, and they're going to use sound. This is where the energetic matrix of the human body meets the physical matrix of the human body. And it's all governed by the spiritual body, which is thought and intention. Now, when you want to clear, to purge, to purify your system, you use sounds. Okay? When you want to create, transform, or energize something, you use color. Now, lest you think I'm talking out my butt or there's no precedent for this, how many people here, by show of hands in the chat, have ever read the Bible? And I don't care if it's the New Testament or the Old Testament. I don't even think I think it might even be in the Quran. I never read the Quran. I don't know for sure. Let me ask you a question. What is the very first words after in the beginning? What are the first words after and in the beginning? What's the very first paragraph in the Bible? Well, actually it says Bereshet in the Hebrew, but it's in the beginning. God said. What did God say? Let there be, type it in the chat, light. Now, for those of you with NLP training or the eyes to see and who understand how to move through the world in terms of process and structure, that jumps out at you. First, God said, and then God created light. He created a space using vibration and sound, and he filled it with light. It's right there, right in front of you. It's been there for thousands of years, but only the initiates ever get shown that. Okay. Now in Planet David, we have all kinds of trainings and things like that for developing your ability to use sound and light. Some of the people in the chat, we've actually pulled the alcohol out of wine and beer and shit, which is really funny because it creates this contact high for everybody in the room. We probably won't, well, maybe we will. We might do something, we'll do something similar to that at Hidden Laws of Attraction. But my point is that when I had you point to a feeling, that feeling is a vibration in your body. But it's not something you can work with directly. You have to transform it. So what did we transform it into? We turned it into color. We turned it into light. Okay, so remember, if we want to purge something, we use a sound. If we want to amplify something, we use color and light. So when I start telling you, imagine a brilliant ball of energy floating above your head. What happened next? Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of victory, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor. You guys remember when we did this? If you remember, type it in the chat. Right? What did I do? I had your nervous system create a state, a body feeling, a frequency and vibration that you wanted more of. And then using color generated by your own neurology, we amplified it in the room. And because your nervous system created it, your nervous system accepted it. True, not true? Right? If I gave you an arbitrary color, it would work on a certain percentage of you. But on some of you, it would fall completely flat because that color is not in harmony with your vibrational field and the neural associations that you make. Like if I said, imagine a powerful golden color of victory floating above your head. Well, if victory for you isn't gold, that may not work for you as quite as powerfully. Does that make sense? So this is the takeaway. Anything the human nervous system creates, it accepts and will work with. And so one of the things I teach my students in Hidden Laws of Attraction, Identity by Design, Advanced Regression, and Real World and Trauma Resolution is that the answer is always in the question. Okay, we have this is something you learn about in Hidden Laws of Attraction and in Identity by Design, called the 6 dynamics of an unconscious response. Unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud. It's never linear. Those are the 6. If you understand those, you can dissolve any and all resistance you get from any client in any therapy session. You can learn how to dialogue with your own autonomic nervous system and get valuable, useful, actionable information that you can use to make very powerful, deep transformations in yourself, as well as other people. 6 simple things that we need to understand to drive our minds and bodies better at every level, from the spiritual level to the energy level, to the physical level, to the soul level, and all points in between. So this is something I want you guys to get. Unconscious mind always answers first, always answers honestly, always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud and it's never linear. Wrap that all in one little bubble that says what the nervous system creates, the nervous system accepts. Okay? What the nervous system creates, the nervous system accepts. Now, the next thing I had you do after we understood the difference between positive states and negative states, I had you change your posture. I had you change your breathing. What do we do next? We breathe, we found a body feeling, we turned it into a color, we filled the room with it. So now we have a reservoir of this energy to swim in. Okay, we amplified the energy. Okay. The next drill I had you do was tap into your emotional drivers. Okay, we created a default state to work from. Now we focus on the specific things you want and the energy connected to that. We did that with the emotional motivation checklist, the what's important about decision tree. You guys remember that? Type yes in the chat. Okay. Are you guys with me so far? Is this making sense? Okay. The next piece is we elicited what those, what are we going to get from the byproduct of tonight's webinar? What's that going to do for us? What's important about that? What's that going to do for us? What's important about that? What's that going to do for us? What's important about that? And we answered those questions. And then when we spoke those out loud, we had this amazing rush of energy and our state transformed again. True or false? Okay. Esnachi says yes. Perfect. You're learning. You're getting this. You're getting the process, aren't you? Now, let's examine once again those body feelings. Okay. So when you read the list out loud, how many of you felt amazing? 100% amazing. Just type 100% if it was you. If it wasn't 100%, type in the percentage you felt amazing in the chat. Okay. Don't lie. If you didn't feel 100% amazing, okay, good. Excellent. So now my question for the and this is actually for the 100%ers too. I want you to go back, and if you need to, felt a bit overwhelming, that's normal. For those of you, if you need to, go back and reread your list out loud again. But now what I want you to do is I want you to remember those feelings. And I want you to notice something. I want you to notice if, in addition to that really good feeling that you had, did you notice any background feelings that were kind of icky? Or little thoughts that popped up that kind of tried to derail your thought, your state as you were saying these things out loud? If you had either icky feelings or icky words pop up in your head, type that in the chat. Jack says yes. Nobody else? Okay. If you did, congratulations. You just discovered the thoughts that you didn't know you had, the beliefs and the memories that you didn't know you had. So if you do this drill, right, I'm going to meet, as a byproduct of buying this training, I'm going to attract and meet my soulmate. We're going to be happily ever after. It's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Great feeling here, icky feeling here. Okay. Point to where the icky feeling is. Close your eyes. If there were a picture floating in the space around you that represented that icky feeling, a picture that you could reach out and touch. Physically take your hand, reach out and touch it. Now trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Once you got that, make sure we got the right one. Reach out, grab that picture with both of your hands and make it big, like expand the window on your touchscreen or your iPhone. Notice what happens to the feelings in your body. Does it get stronger or does it get weaker? Doesn't matter which one it does, just pay attention to what it does. Now put it back to its original size. Now slowly pull that picture closer to your body and notice what happens to the body feeling now. Does it get stronger or does it get weaker? That's fine too. Now put it back to where it was. Now I want you to use your imagination. I want you to put a big, thick, black frame around that picture you've just been playing with. And you're probably too young to remember when televisions had real dials and knobs and switches instead of touch screens and remote controls. But I want you to feel along the base of that frame. And I'd like you to notice that there's some dials and knobs and switches, like on an old style television. And I want you to find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast. And I want you to turn that knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Turn the image all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. And decide for yourself which one you like better. Do you like it all the way to the white or all the way to the black? Whatever it is, turn that knob all the way in that direction until it's completely whited out or blacked out. Once you've got that, I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand and in glowing golden letters across that whited out or blacked out screen, there were some important lessons, positive or negative, that this experience had to teach you. I want you to write those lessons and the feelings on the screen in glowing golden letters so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now the screen will scroll like a tablet, so you have an infinite, unlimited writing space. Some people know exactly what those lessons are and boom, 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 just like that clockwork, they just write those lessons out. Some people have no conscious idea what those lessons are. And so just like automatic writing works, let your unconscious mind express itself in whatever way it needs to. Let the part of you that knows what those things are express itself. Now, some people draw squiggles. Some people draw pictures. Some people get really upset and angry and they write fuck you, fuck you, fuck you across the screen. Some people write with both hands simultaneously, like they're writing Chinese and Hebrew at the same time. However your body wants to do it, just let that process take place. You may notice feelings and thoughts and ideas and statements coming up. Put them on the screen so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. And keep writing until everything that needs to be kept is on that screen and everything else has been dissolved and melted and drained away. When you know you've got that, reach up with both of your hands. Shrink that picture down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. Your unconscious mind moves that image all the way back beyond the horizon. What sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail? Feel it nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. You know it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. Test it. Try to bring it back and notice what happens instead. Now, for those of you who did this drill, go ahead and type in the chat what you experienced. Let me see what's going on here. Anybody with me in the chat? So Jax is saying, why, when I am moving the screen, I don't feel anything? You probably have some layers of dissociation there. So grab it, slam it into your body, pull it out. Now, this will probably cause you to tear up and feel things you don't necessarily want to feel, but that's how you break up that stagnation. Okay. Anybody else? The question is, if we nail it behind us, what happens to the lesson? The lesson is preserved. The place behind us is a storage cabinet for things that your neurology classifies as overdone and complete. Jack says, now I feel it. I warned you. Right. What Jack's just experienced happens. I discovered it as a clinical. It was a clinical phenomenon. A lot of times people have extra layers of desensitization and dissociation between their body feelings and their external projections. And so I would run into this over and over again in the clinic. And after a while, because my NLP training and my hypnosis training never prepared me for a lot of the things I encountered in the clinical setting, I had to figure shit out on my own. And so one day I just, as an epiphany, I just had the person reach out, grab the picture, slam it into their body and pull it back out. And I just had them keep doing that. And what happened was it reattached, it reconnected their body feeling to their proprioceptive energy system. And all of a sudden now, any change they made out here changed their subsequent body feelings. And so now they could change it to whatever they wanted. Okay. Now here's, again, because I don't want to hand you everything. I want you guys to think your way through this. Think about what I just said. Think about what I just said. Everything about vibration that we work with is about body feelings. If I have a body feeling and I have a component of it out here that I can use to change it, I can turn any body feeling I have into any body feeling I want. You see the significance of this drill? Yes or yes? Are you guys in a coma? Type it in the chat. I can't tell. Right? How many of you actually did this drill besides Jack's? Anybody else? Okay. Oh, Sandra did. Okay. And Sandra, what, as Nachi did? Okay. For those of you who did the drill, what happened? Did you have something go away? And Holly's sending me a message that you guys need to click that link before it's too late. Sandra says, yes, felt lighter. Yes, you lost energetic weight. What happens a lot of times, as Anachi says, good feeling. Yeah, what happens a lot of times is your energy body builds up a charge because of something in the spiritual body, the thought and feeling body. And that's where the real problem is. But most people don't have a way to connect the physical, energetic, and spiritual levels through an interface everybody understands. So when you connect these things this way, you're working on the coding system that is universal from the most subtle aspect of your soul to your spirit body, to your energy body, to your physical body. And so you can change anything you want into anything you want. Now there's a language to this, a somatic language, if you will. And again, in your class, Secrets of Personality Transformation, it should be in Hidden Laws of Attraction as well. You'll see something called energy-centered psychotherapy or body-centered energy psychotherapy. There's this phenomena known as the somatic search engine. There's all kinds of little body-centric practices that we do that allow us to amplify and magnify whatever vibrational frequencies that we want or transform them into anything we want. So when we take something, we connect it out here, we reprocess it, we shrink it down, we move it behind us, every level of our neurology classifies it as something that is now overdone and complete. So when you are doing your manifestation drill, which is the next thing we're going to play with, is going to be the Yinformation drill, which is a way to bypass and get around your intrinsic limiting beliefs. We have many ways to change and transform limiting beliefs, but we don't have time to cover it all in a 3-hour webinar when we need a 3 or 4 day training to do it. Okay, so I'm giving you stuff you can just start putting to work right away. Has this been useful so far? Have I delivered the things I've been promising to you? Yes or yes? Okay. I want to make sure because again, should have Sandra says, heck yeah. Edie says yes. Jim Rios, absolutely good. Okay. So let's start. Let's just backtrack and review. Everything starts with what you want, how you know you're getting it. What's the foundational state you need to be in? We started with victory. We could have used playfulness, but I think victory for this group seemed to be more appropriate. Then we layered in the emotional energy necessary to manifest and attract what we wanted. Then we looked for anything that might be getting in the way. So we breathed that color into our body. We became aware of the good feelings, the emotional drivers, the things we wanted, and then we became aware of the icky, nasty background feelings. And we zeroed in on those, and we started dissolving them. We started reprocessing and reprogramming them so that when we re-access the energies we want to attract, it's cleaner and it's more powerful. There's nothing tainting it. That's what you've just learned. Okay, with the whole magic frame part. The technique is called magic frame. We show it a lot on the YouTube channel because it's one of those that you don't leave home without it. It's too powerful not to use. Here's what comes next. Now that we've cleaned the vessel, we've energized the vessel, we've harmonized the vessel, we've cleaned it, we know what we want, we know how we're getting it. Now we want to circumvent, Rob, you could absolutely use gray room. Gray room takes longer to do. That's why we don't teach it usually in a webinar. I used to do gray room a lot in my early webinars. Usually as towards the end of the webinar, people wanted to kind of just drop a bunch of crap. I just run them through a gray room and stuff like that, and people will be happy as it. Maybe we'll do that in the future for future webinars or whatever. We'll start bringing back some of these longer meditative practices and things like that for people. But gray room is very powerful, but it's not fast enough for what we're doing here. Okay. Also, unless you modify gray room, it doesn't necessarily target the safety lessons connected to why that belief or that limiting feeling is hanging around. It'll let you get rid of stuff, kind of like soaking the pot and scrubbing it before you put it in a dishwasher. But if there's a reason for that limiting belief to be there, that your nervous system feels is important to your safety, it'll fight to keep it. Gray room doesn't directly address that. That's why if you look at the identity by design silo, which we usually cover at the beginning of the webinar, but I skipped around a lot, you have general negativity clearing, special negativity clearing, default driver states, internal dialogue training, temporal editing, boom of eternity, and then magic frame, which is where we install the traits, qualities, and character, or magic circle, which is where we install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people we admire. Okay, that's the whole 7-stage identity by design sequence. You'll learn it in part of it in Hidden Laws of Attraction. You'll also learn part of it in the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study course. If you join us virtually for the Identity by Design 4-day certification, you'll learn it hook, line, and sinker, ready to go out and make money using it. If you come to Hidden Laws of Attraction in San Diego, August 20th through the 24th, you'll learn how to use it to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people who are naturally lucky. So not only will you have this awesome, unstoppable inner game, you'll also have the traits, qualities, and characteristics that make you not have to work quite so hard. Not a bad deal, right? Just click the link, www.nlppower.com/HLOA, www.nlppower.com/HLOA. Hold on a second. Right. I'm going to actually put this for those of you who want to take advantage of the offer. I know some of our YouTubers missed it. I did manage to get them back online a little bit. I can't find my chat though. Not sure what happened there. Anyway, I'll post it in the comments section later, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened, why they didn't give us a chat, but anyway. So, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to a principle I gave you earlier. How many of you wrote this down? What the neurology creates, the neurology accepts. Type in the chat if you actually wrote it down. People love gray room and often ask to do it again. Yeah, gray room is a big favorite. Okay. This next technique, Yinformations level 1, is the first way to begin to create affirmations that bypass your limiting beliefs. You see, when you arbitrarily create an affirmation, let's just use the old classic standard. Let me share my screen really quick. Page. Okay, so I hope everybody can see this. So when we think of an affirmation, we'll just use a standard one. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better and better. Okay. This is a very old affirmation. It was originally created by a Frenchman by the name of Émile Coué. And for decades, people would literally just repeat this to themselves over and over and over again. But it would literally take tens of thousands of repetitions before people would start seeing results. The question is why? And the answer I can give you is, and again, this is for you guys in the chat. For those of you who are on YouTube, I know that it's hard to reach the chat. Let me ask you guys in here a question. And again, you will avoid taking this as a direction or a suggestion, but let's hypothesize for a moment that something happened to me. One of my kidneys is defective or had a disease or something like that. And the only way to save my life was to get me a new kidney. And I had a choice. I could put myself on the donor list, get lucky and get a transplanted kidney from somebody else, right? Or they could take some healthy stem cells from my kidney or my bone marrow and grow me a new kidney. Which one wouldn't work? And it's not a trick question. Which one would not work? Assuming we had the technology to regrow a kidney now, and it were possible. Which one would not work? Don't be bashful, type it in the chat, folks. Shit, he's actually making us answer questions. What's up with that? I thought this was a free webinar. All I had to do was sit and do nothing and not think. Okay, Jack says the first one. Put my name on a donor list, get a new kidney from somebody else. Okay. Edie says grow a new one. Sandra says stem cells, same consciousness that caused a defective kidney. Assuming we have the ability to grow a healthy one. Again, we're taking it from the healthy kidney, the transplant. Brad says, Brad's thinking. Both would work. But one requires what? A lot of anti-rejection drugs. This is why, what's another word for rejection? Anybody? What's another word for rejection? Protection. Okay. Denial. Resistance. Nailed it, Mark. Rejection is a form of resistance. So, law of the mind says that you won't do anything that you don't want to do or that's not in harmony with something that's gone before. If I give you a suggestion, it's like that transplanted kidney. But if I can get you to create your own suggestion, it's like growing a new kidney. Which one has more probability of being fully accepted by the host? The grown kidney or the transplanted one? Growing, absolutely. It's really a no-brainer when you don't overthink it. But this is a metaphor that I want you to understand about why sometimes the suggestions you're being given or are giving yourself don't work. One, it's coming from the wrong part of your brain. Two, it's not in harmony with your deeply held belief systems. Okay? Your neurology is designed to keep you the same. Let me repeat that. Okay? Your neurology is designed to keep you the same. In hypnosis and NLP and other derivatives, we talk about something called the critical faculty of the conscious mind. The critical faculty of the conscious mind is in place to keep you from changing too quickly. It's designed to filter out any information or communication that doesn't match what you've accepted as true inside your mind. Let me repeat that. It's designed to filter out any communication or suggestion or direction that doesn't match the model of how the world's supposed to be inside your mind. And so when you write an affirmation from the neocortex level, you're writing from a conscious mind level. Your conscious mind is the weakest, most anal retentive part of you. It's the 2-year-old of the body. When you take suggestions from another human being and try to apply them to yourself, it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot because that other person's mental syntax, the way they think and how they think and their value system and their belief systems may be very different from how yours is structured. Because that structure is different, it won't have the same effect necessarily on you that it would on them. Are you guys with me so far? Can you see the big picture here? So the question becomes, how do we create suggestions? And affirmations are just suggestions and directions we're giving to ourselves. How do we create suggestions and directions that align with our nervous system, that align with our value system, that align with our belief systems, conscious and unconscious? How do we do that? It's very simple, actually. And again, when you come to Hidden Laws, I will explain all the linguistic tricks behind this. I'll explain how it works, why it works. I'll let you try to disprove it or make it not work, and you'll prove to yourself that it does. But because I want you to have an experience, we're going to do this process. We call this Yinformations level 1. There's like 3 or 4 other levels of this that we just go deeper and stronger. But this will get you started. Okay. Before I do that, though, I want to remind everybody that we're coming to the close of our webinar for today. And so I want to make sure that you guys, if you were on the fence about any of the offer that we've got going on today, I want you to make sure that you grab your offer. For those of you joining us on YouTube, I will post this link for you in the comments section. It's the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study Course. This is one of the most powerful packages we've ever put out. It includes the entire Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Mastery program. It's a $1,997 value. You also get the Vibrational Influence UK Special Edition, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get Vibrational Healing Home Study Course, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get Secrets of Personality Transformation, $2,497 value, free. Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, $1,997 value. Once again, we're going to give it to you for free. You're going to get the Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive that gives you the actual social dynamic tools to attract and keep and find your soulmates. Okay, so soulmates is mostly about inner game and the characteristics, personalities, and temperaments of what you're looking for and how to get it. And Attraction Mastery are the physical techniques and skills necessary to find and attract those people and keep them as part of your life. right? So there's yin yang combination there. We're going to give you a 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. It's a 1,000 and the 10-year or 11-year archive. It's a $1,597 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. And for those of you who register for the free VIP super ticket, we're going to give you a twofer. You're going to get a VIP super ticket to the Hidden Laws of Attraction live training scheduled for August 20th through the 24th here in San Diego. We're also going to throw in, as an extra value bonus, we're going to throw in a free virtual ticket, I call it a fast pass to our next Identity by Design 4-day hypnosis and hypnotherapy certification program. So if you're looking to increase your hypnosis skills, transform yourself from the inside out, create another revenue stream for working with your coaching clients, this is the class you want to take. You can do it all from the comfort of your own home. We have some of the best proctors available. Holly's been with us in our exclusive Zoom Maven for almost 4 or 5 years now, and people absolutely love her. You'll be in the room with me virtually, and she'll be making sure that you get all the experiences you need to qualify for the provisional certification that we offer for those of you who attend. Okay. Total for that Identity by Design course is $3,150. It's not listed here, but the total value, if you were to get that, the entire package we're talking about, will be $21,497. You can get it all for one low investment of just $997, or you can break that up into 3 easy installments of $397 each. All you need to do is go to www.nlppower.com/hidden laws of attraction. It's www.nlppower.com/hidden laws of attraction. One more time with feeling. It's www.hiddenlawsofattraction/HLOA. All right. So I wanted to get that in before we come into the information segment. Because again, some of the folks are joining us on YouTube. I know they missed a chunk of the prep work, but hopefully I've done enough review that they can follow along and get the benefit from this next piece. Okay. Let me go back and stop sharing here, and I'll stop sharing here. All right. So going back to Yinformations. So how do we do this? How do we craft a statement how do we craft an affirmation that bypasses our limiting beliefs? Again, goes back to this idea. What the nervous system creates, the nervous system accepts. So I'm going to go share my screen again, and I'm going to help. And it would probably be useful for those of you who really want to grab this, or get a hold of this process. Get out a piece of paper and a pencil, and write some of these out for your application, right? And what I might do is I might spot check you guys and just have you share some of your informations in the chat, and I'll give you feedback on them. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this up, and I'll put this up. Okay, so instead of every day in every way, let's see if I can make that a little bigger. Okay, instead of every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better thousands and thousands of times. I could write every day in every way, I am getting better and better because, and fill in the blank with whatever pops up first. So take a moment, write down every day in every way I'm getting better and better because. What's the first thing that pops up in your head? Write that down and fill it in the blank. And then do it again. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better because. Okay. Now, you may notice that each time you do this, you get a slightly different answer. That's okay, because whatever answer your nervous system gives you is the one it will accept. Let me repeat that. Whatever because response your nervous system gives you is the one it will accept. It's the one that will allow it to make that suggestion come true. Okay? Just to test it. Write this affirmation, write this Yinformation structure down a couple more times, just using the everyday and every way one. Pay attention to what your unconscious mind answers. And then what I want you to do, just like we did before, I want you to read the answers out loud. Pick, do 5 or 6 of them, and either pick one and read it out loud 5 times, or read them all once 5 times, and notice what happens to the feelings in your body. And type in the chat what you feel. Type it in the chat. I'll wait. So Ritu says, I want it. I want to be happy. Kavita says, I deserve it. Okay. Now, you don't need to write the answers, but they're all good. Okay. Now, when you physically speak those affirmations or those Yinformations out loud, what happens in your body? What happens when you speak them out loud? What happens in your body? Crystal says it gives a feeling of confidence. Rita says feels alive. Fireworks, Edie says. How many repetitions of the old way? Kavita says slight discomfort. Okay, now that you've found the slight discomfort, Kavita, point to where you feel it, reach out, touch the picture. And just like you saw me do, trace the outline of it, make it bigger, make it smaller. Notice how the feelings change. Put a big old frame around it. Find the knob, white out the screen, dark out the screen. Write the lessons on the screen. So you can keep all the lessons, let everything else go. Shrink it down. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your other than conscious mind moves that picture all the way up over the top of your head, back behind the horizon where it disappears completely. It's nailed back there for all time. And when you know it's completely nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back, test it. Try to bring it back. Notice what happens instead. Now, again, Kavita, I went really fast, and it's okay. Take as long as you need to do that. Okay? Go back and watch this process again and again and again. This is why I gave you the magic frame before this. Okay? Because in most people, you're going to get fired up really quick. How many of you noticed you got in less than 5 of the Yinformation forms or less, you got more fired up than if you did 1,000 of the old ones? True or not true? Okay. Jack says lots of, yeah. So if you want to use affirmations, this is how you do it. And if you have an experience like Kavita does, point to where you feel it, reach out, touch the picture, put the lessons on the screen, put a frame around it, shrink it down, move it behind you. Do the Yinformations again, and just keep building on it, because these only get stronger and stronger and stronger. If you want to take it even further, point to where in your body you feel it, turn it into a color, fill the room with it, wrap it around you, breathe it through your whole body. Now your entire system is resonating and pulsating with that frequency at the right with a super strong amplitude, programmed for the right thing. And it's fun. True or not true? Because if you're not having fun, you're not being effective. Once you embody this, there's all kinds of other things that you can do with it. Okay, what you've done is you've created a vessel and a crucible, for lack of a better word, where you can create and mix alchemically the vibrations for the manifestation of what you want. You've purified that vessel by finding the icky spots and removing them. And then you've used a system that works in harmony with the deepest, most primal levels of your body and mind to create an instruction and a direction that bypasses the limiting, the reasons why you might not do something, and works and focuses on the reasons for why you will. Remember, when your unconscious mind gives you that answer, it has been vetted by every single belief system, experience, ad infinitum that you've had. And it's been passed and processed and vetted and cleared by all of it. So when you give that sequence of internal and external information back in the way I've given it to you, it functions like a direct command to your system. And because it matches every password at every level of the system, it all goes in and there's nothing to fight back against. There's nothing to resist or reject. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to do a last call. We've got one more lesson on Yinformations that we're going to do. And what we're going to do now with this is we're going to customize it. Now what I want you to do is I want you to write down on a sheet of paper 5 things that you want to manifest. But now what I want you, after you've written those 5 things down, what I want you to do is I want you to use the Yinformation structure to create affirmations or instructions to your neurology that your nervous system will actually accept. So write 5 things down using this Yinformation structure, right? Every day, whatever your information is. Let me go ahead and put this here. Let's say I want a 6-figure business. I now earn 6 figures because fill in the blank. I now attract my perfect partner because I now win every interview because I now easily finish my book because, right? So again, I now clean my house joyfully, or I now joyfully clean my house. Let's try that. I want you to play with this, right? Again, I'm giving you examples. You don't have to use my examples, but the point here is that I want you to understand this structure so that when you start doing your law of attraction work, you have something that actually works for you and it works really fast. You can't see the examples? Are you sure, Ritu? Because they should show up. Hold on a second. There we go. Is that better? Oops. Can you see them now? Oh, they showed up there? Okay. Okay, so once you've, just so I know that you've got this, just cut and paste one of your fully formed Yinformations in the chat so I can see it. That just makes it smaller. I'd already done that, Brad. The problem is if I can use my mouse. Okay. I now earn 6 figures because I work towards doing it. Kavita, what happens when you say that out loud? Does it feel good? Yeah. See, that's something your nervous system will let you act on. Can we go in and clean up all the limiting beliefs and all the things that are in the way and all the thoughts we didn't know we had and all the beliefs we didn't know we had and our dominant? Yeah, we can do all that. We absolutely can. In fact, you'll learn how to do it. But that doesn't help you today. It doesn't give you a way necessarily to create the foundation, prime the pump, get shit out of the way, and then fire the bullet. I am saving more and more money to go to David's seminars. Good. Okay. Anybody else want to share? Ritu says, I think she was supposed to have a feel there. Now very healthy and achieve my desired self because I started listening to my body more. Good. Good. I now choose to be free of and healed from any negativity and unhelpful limitations from my past because, Mark, okay, what I'm looking for is the because. I need to see a because to be, it needs to have a because in it to be a level 1 Yinformation. Okay, remember, because is the magic word that takes things from a neocortical response to a deeper one, because that is now what I want. Very good. Now say those things, say those Yinformations out loud with the full because X after it, and notice what happens to the body feelings. Okay. You guys on YouTube, you can do this at home as well, right? I showed you the techniques because I'm an education whore and I'm applying it to my life. Very good. Now it's funny, right? It sounds, you kind of laugh at yourself for saying it, but when you read the whole Yinformation out loud, notice what happens to your energy level. Notice what happens to your desire to do it and the belief that you actually can, right? When you use this process, you literally stop fighting and resisting yourself. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. Well, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's training. I really, really, really want you to go ahead and click that link now to get your last call for the 2-for-1s. You know, repeat after me. I am now clicking David's link because, answer the question and then do that, right? Once again, let me just go to our page here. Once again, remember, this is quite literally the best deal we've ever given. It absolutely covers and checks all the boxes, gives all the dots. Guy says, I study because I really enjoy this subject and will improve my life beyond my dreams. Excellent. Excellent. So once again, hidden laws of attraction. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Doesn't look like it's going to get any bigger, so I'll just have to deal with it. Includes the Hidden Laws of Attraction Home Study Course, $1,997 value. Vibrational Influence UK, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. Vibrational Healing Home Study Course, $2,497 value. We're going to give that to you free. Secrets of Personality Transformation, $2,497 value. Free. Hidden Laws of Attraction Soulmate Secrets Masterclass, $1,997 value. Free. Attraction Mastery 4-day intensive, $2,497 value. Free. NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group, 3 months trial to try it out, and full access to 11-year video archive, $1,597 value for free. And of course, you're going to get the free VIP 2-for-1 ticket. You get the Hidden Laws of Attraction live 3-day training, super training here in San Diego, California. And you also get a free virtual fast pass to our next 4-day Identity by Design hypnosis and hypnotherapy certification, streamed live from Las Vegas, Nevada, July 17th through the 21st. Ritu says, you mentioned that these courses also help attract clients for pretty new coaching business. Yes, very much. Very much. Mark says, this was just fucking spectacular. Thank you so much. Amazed by it all. Very appreciative. Thanks, David. You're welcome, my friend. That's what I'm here for. All right. Listen, it's your life. It's your choice. All you got to do is take the actions. Your world can be everything you want it to be, but you have to make the decision that you deserve to have it. And all you got to do to prove it to yourself is click that link. Go to www.nlppower.com/HLOA, www.nlppower.com/HLOA. To quote the great Forrest Gump, that's about all I have to say about that. In the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song, maybe do a few Yinformations. Seems we just got started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Goodbye, everybody. Click that link and let's get this party started. Good night. God bless. Take care.